You go the lead and they go now. We plenty now.
It's not the question. He said you want to ask a question.
Mazi, you're right.
We want to use calling. These are the issue.
No, William won't do us
These
guy
are the
man. William
issue. We
won't
just
give
want
us
to use
guy
guy
man.
man and speak, right?
I mean,
These
guys,
are
I'll
the-
make could I leave you
You
alone.
want use guy
But
man do
anyway,
submission.
I'm enjoying you guys. Me, I'm going out. I'll keep listening. Just take me now. Take me down. I'll keep listening. Since you guys don't want my contribution, I'm going out. I'm leaving the house now, so I wanted just to
Bye. Leave house when you won't come. Carry bread, come back. Oh.
No.
Carry bread, come back.
William, these are the issue, right? When he wants to talk, he should have no. He should have to beg people on his speaker session before he came up. So can I use 1 minute? He can't just say I want to ask a question and start making a submission. And you said that, and when they want to stop you, and they said that,
these are the issues,
they don't want you to speak. These are the issue. We need to fix ourselves.
You're
Not calling out our government.
We need to press Abaribe to continue doing what he's doing.
No. You are rigging the election on this space now. You are rigging the election.
I did.
Yeah, yes. Yes, you want to rig the election. You want to rig yourself into office. So allow Charlie P to speak. Allow Charlie P to speak. So we can have Doggy, then we'll go to Allah. Allow Charlie P to speak, then we can have Doggy. You want to rig yourself into a speaker session.
Let's go to court.
You want to jump the line. Just allow Charlie P to speak. Just hold on. After them, you go. Yeah.
Oga Willie for bribe me now. Mazi, good morning, Nigeria. I beg I never want me about job this morning. I beg one. Well done, Mazi. Good morning. And I don't know if it's holy for you, but as Christians, this is Holy Week for us. So I wish everybody happy Holy Week. Please, avoid waiting in case you die now. And I heard fire straight though. So while we wait for the resurrection of Christ, are we poor or just lazy? Wow, very deep question, Mazi. Straight question, but very deep. Are Nigerians poor? The answer is definitely yes. A very poor people. You know, because whatever acts you see us display are acts of poor people. You know, are we lazy? I think is where I'll be a little bit more of how would I put it? More of subjective with that space, because it's a two-way thing. Like the last two speakers was talking when I asked him who drives that. But in my summary, just know that the problem I have with this topic is the government. I keep saying it is the government. And I love using one popular saying. Anybody when Papa say man go thief. Now 2 leg, they use break door. Now the way captain steer ship, now the way the ship will go. Because but if you leave ship for water, what will happen? Anyway, where the tides or the waves of the ocean carry, no matter how big the ship is, now that place you go. The annoying part is that ship can never be static when it don't top water. That captain will tell him what he go do. In terms of poverty, what we are seeing in Nigeria is a reflection of poverty in mind, poverty in execution, poverty in anything that you can tag the way we do things. And poverty drives some high level of unhealthy competition, classism, and what's not you call it. And because of poverty, you see people do extra to push to get to that pinnacle. Then the one we come back past for our setting in this whole topic today is the gratification, the dignity, I use the word dignity, bestowed on surviving by anyhow means. My society rewards criminality. My society rewards illegality. And when you begin to box all these together, and you see a society that rewards some of those non-hard working push or drive, what will you see? You see a lot more people falling into that bucket to say they want to be like those people. If I pass through Oshodi every day, if I pass through Opiwake every day, and I see a tout, all he does, an Agbero, all he does is to oppress people, rob them, steal from them, collect money illegally, no matter what they claim they were put there by the government. And every day he comes out, parks a nice ride car. When I go to that Mama Yabo in Kechi, he's eating 5 big chunks of meat. And the only thing I've seen him do all his life is to extort people. What will happen to that space or that generation of those people where they see that man? I would love to be like him. It is the easy way out. And if I get close to them, they'll say, "Now, strong man for jungle, they survive." What do I need to do? Is to see how I can beat Mazi. He can never win me when we fight in that pack. If they burn Williams well, I go break his head. If they burn Coates well or Ramsey, they can't try me. And I can form my own gang and go to one side of the market or one side of the road. And guess what? The madness continues. And if that guy goes to a very large extent of making so much money from that madness, guess what? He will come back to my village and they will give him one beautiful name. And the next you hear, now money we make from Agbero. And our money we make from pushing drugs. So it is, when they talk about connection, there's what we call series of connections. Serial connection. If you enter here, you go loop into this place. This is what poverty will do. And somebody said the 20,000 Nigerians who have moved abroad, technically, if you had followed their life, a lot of them are doing well. And they are pushing because they know there is no hope other than what? To do the right thing and to push through. And I can imagine such system that will not give room. Not that it will not happen. Like somebody said, are there not lazy people out there too? There are lots of lazy people out there. Maybe because of whatever thing is tied to what they do. But imagine such society that drives an everyday involvement is put in there in our system and not build laws based on emotion. I keep saying Nigerian laws are based on emotions. They respond out to the emotion of culture and tradition, which is not a bad thing. But I think it would have been limited to very few cultural and traditional approach. Not in hurting people and you're having different laws in different lands or in different regions and the rest of them. So you continue to have this kind of conversation and it will push down to entitlement. Where we will come and a lot of people will say, my father has money and definitely I'm not going to work. And the funny thing is not going to work. And he will come back and own a CBN job. He will come back and own a job in NNPC. For the middle average ones, for Mazi to have worked in a good company and he has very big influence and I'm his son, I will get a job, possibly. The chances are high. All he needs to say is, my son, don't worry, let me call my contacts. Where do we see that happen more? We find it more where we have the highest employer of labor in Nigeria, which is the government or the civil service. I don't have statistics to brag here, but what I've seen in the last 4 decades of my life is that 80% to 85% of the job from the late 90s, it used to be fair in the 80s or 70s. From the 90s down, you must know person. You must know person. So if you go through the civil service job, intertwined with all the whole conversation. Both the military, even the military and the police. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody has someone who brought somebody. The question is, won't it drive the laziness? Somebody talked about a minister coming to say people should resume by 8 o'clock. It will drive. The question is, do they even have anything to resumption? Who has been punished? Who is taking responsibility for that section or that place not coming? This is what you see. So what am I trying to say? A lot of the government's body language has attributed to this madness called laziness. We all have homes. Some of us have seen homes where we had laid-back parents who didn't train their kids well. How did they turn out to be? That's exactly how your country is turning out to be. So I don't know why we are all sitting down to start permutating laziness and permutating poverty. We see it happen. Oh, look at that man picking way get money. You know they do anything. They don't even settle with better hustle. Because the government have not drawn policies. They've not done anything. Somebody talked about Lagos making money and the only thing he could lay his hands on was on suya. My brother go around to Nigeria, suya people every night. They open till 3 or 4 a.m. Go to most clubs around Nigeria. At least the places I've visited. They all work till late night and everything. But the problem we have is, do we have the right institution driving that 24 hours economy? If you go to a lot of companies, not only stated in Lagos, everywhere in Nigeria too, they have shifts. People work at night. Hospitals work at night. So give kudos to those people who sacrifice those days. But for 200 million people with the level of infrastructure we have, is that obtainable? The answer is no. What do we need? More friendly business environments for people. Somebody tagged, so Doggy, I thank you for supporting Made in Nigeria. I love also supporting Made in Nigeria. Somebody talked about vehicles and everything. So when you see such stuffs and you patronize them, you're adding value to the society. And I talked again, it's the classicist mentality. When somebody said, the only thing I want to wear is something made abroad. I come to Doggy's house, so he said, this chair, Charlie Pa imported it from Dubai. If I have money like Doggy, I'll go to Dubai too now because it made sense. And because I wasn't looking up to him. It is that level of environment, entitlement. You start having people laid back. A lot of our young women today, they don't care. All they need to do is just to go and get a house around Lekki. A lot of our young men, what do they need to do today? We know the name today, Yahoo or whatever scheme. Now IT don't come. All of them, they create app. Name and one coin. You buy today, get tomorrow. Before you know, you don't pack up. Some people don't cash out. It is a system that revolves around that. Is it that we don't find them in developed country? The answer is yes. We find this type of attitude. But guess what? The government has focused the mind of their people that you must work to eat. The day you fail, because there are a lot of bills waiting and a lot of processes waiting for that money. So a 2 months out of job can wreck you. So at each point, your brain is thinking, what will I do to get the next meal? But back home, it's a little bit laid back. So poverty, yes, we are poor as a people. We can't deny it, irrespective of our resources. In terms of resources, we are very rich. But wickedness, lack of humanity, lack of creating wealth. Because over time, we have put leaders who have made money without enterprise. They've not done businesses in their life. I can bet you from 2019, apart from the old other politicians who even get sense, we get handwork. From 2009, 1999, sorry, down. There are very few politicians that have led people that you can say made money or have created wealth, and after they left power, they are still generating money to feed people. But there are politicians who have left power. Guess what? They are still depending on siphoning this country thick and dry. My people also talk, say, land will no good. Now, wealth for some people. These guys are cashing out from the irregularities, the laziness that they are calling us today, the poverty of Nigerians today. because that's the only way they can keep the country for them to make whatever money they want to make. And finally, my submission. This laziness where they talk is engraved in our minds by the system. Can we change it? The answer is yes. But it needs to start from the top again. I don't know why I push a lot to leadership. I pass a lot to leadership. We don't know what leadership can do. We all have homes we run. We all have businesses we run. You know your vision, you know your mission, and you know if you don't put those things in check, things will go wrong. That is how a country is. A country is business too. It is the business of survival. It is the business of wealth. It is the business of welfare. It is the business of security. It is the business of anything business. You know why? For some people, it's their services. For some people, it is their life. So for some people, it's the air they breathe. So it is about transaction at each time you wake up on the surface of this earth. And if you don't have the right leadership, if you don't have the right people like that captain I talked about with the ship, you guess what? You just do water the float anyway where belly face. You know, now so one person come here one day, they tell me, say, it is me that want to die in Nigeria because of I want to die. Can you imagine? That's I'm waking up to go to Afugbe market or relief market from Asaba. And he said, I mean, won't die because I won't die. It's the kind of people we share this thing. And how will this person be able to translate, transcribe, and internalize some of this conversation we're having? No, because whatever it is for him, he feels he's surviving. So, guys, poverty we are because of this thing I've said. Laziness is because they've engraved it in our mind. If there's this mental shift from the government, from people, and everything, I don't say I know toxic people don't get their own, but somebody needs to drive that car for that destination to be achieved. If we have those people, I can bet you people will start thinking right. People will start doing the right things. Now, this Gregor, what would they do for some of us or for some people who don't come abroad? They come here, they conform, and everything moves well. Even the bad leaders we are talking about, anytime when they cross this place, some of them queue up to go into trains, some of them ride bicycles, some of them enter buses, and they don't care because they know at each point things are okay. But when they come back home to implement those things, we don't find them. So for me, it is leadership that has kept us in the topic of today's conversation. Thank you. Mazi. Mazi, are you on top of something or something's on top of you? Doggy.
Yeah, I think somebody else to go. I don't know, maybe I'll allow.
Yeah, I think it's Doggy. It's Doggy to go. Doggy, please go.
Yeah, Doggy.
Yeah. Charlie P, thank you very much for that submission. Before I come to you, let me go to Mazi first. Mazi, you and KB, una go explain tire. Una go explain tire. See, let me take you to the Bible. The people Jesus Christ gave seeds. One took the seed and went home and kept it. The other one, I be like, say, carry and go return to the master. But what am I doing with this? The one with the creative mind, the hard worker, planted, watered, nurtured the seed, and it grew. And you guys are here now telling me that if Charlie P should open a business in Nigeria tomorrow and employ Nigerians to actually nurture the business and carry on the business so that the business will yield. And those people, what's important to them is how to fill their pockets and actually liquidate the company. Are you telling me that is not laziness? That is pure laziness. If there's anything to define laziness, that's laziness. Because if they are hard workers and creative thinkers, they will find means to build up that company. So that, I mean, okay, this is also where I disagree with Goat. I mean, I agree with many things he said. But the place I did not agree was when he was talking about the that I mean the oil and gas company we have in Nigeria is even private sector. That's Dangote. Many economies of the world are private sector driven. Many, if not 95% of the world economics in the whole world are private sector driven. So Nigeria should even be shifting from the government building the refineries to private sector building it. Though they have to create a viable environment for it to happen. Apart from Dubai, I don't know any other country in the world. I'm saying I don't know. I'm not saying that does not exist. That it is the government that owns the oil and gas sector. In America, I think it is private. In Germany, I know 100% is private. In England, I know it's private. So that Dangote did it in Nigeria, that should actually be the right thing. Before Elon Musk started his what is it called? The EV, the electric vehicles. I know that some other
Tesla.
companies have tried. Yeah, Tesla. Yeah, I know that some other companies have tried their tumbum tumbum. I remember that the very first what is his name? Chevrolet designer, EV designer. That was I think late 90s, early 2000. I think that was in 2001 or so, 2000. Jelani Aliu, a Sokoto-born Nigerian who studied in Nigeria but went to USA for masters. He was the person to design their first EV. Chevrolet is not American government owned; it's private business. Before Tesla later ventured into it and revolutionized it, Tesla is not American government owned; it's private business owned. Many of the car industry you have in the world are not federal government. Many of the companies you have in the world, the big ones, Mark Zuckerberg, I mean the Facebook, WhatsApp, Instagram, Twitter that we are in, on X, LinkedIn, and otherwise, they were not government owned. Various what's it called recycling companies you have in the world that are dealing with recycling of debt and otherwise, they are not government owned. In transportation, talk of aviation, talk of transportation, rail, and otherwise, they are not government owned. But the thing is that the government creates viable environments and sometimes, in most of the cases, give incentives for them to strive. So saying that it's even Dangote that did it, it's a welcome development. Dangote should do it, Boa should do it, Goat should do it, Doggy should do it, Chalipi should do it. That's actually how it happens. Oh, my wife is calling me. A second, please.
Okay.
Mazi, can I just respond just to clarify what I meant?
Okay.
All right. So based on what Doggy was saying, what I meant was, so before Dangote came in, I know Nigeria is the only country within OPEC that does not refine its crude oil, within. So where he was saying that was where I was coming from. If like Dangote didn't come in, we always used to believe that was impossible to do. So where he was saying BP, see, there's so many. In Saudi Arabia, you have Aramco, Iran, NIOC, Kuwait, KPC, Kuwait Petroleum Corporation. Abu Dhabi has their own, Qatar Energy, Iraq. I could just keep listing on and on, even India, even Angola, Sanungo. So they were all doing it. So that's what I was saying. Can you show me one industry that the Nigerian government, has built from bottom to the very top? But Dangote came in and then shown it was very, very possible. For how many decades they couldn't do it? The same thing, electricity now. that they can't do since 1960, Mazi. If a private investor comes in, which I will encourage, it just shows you that it is very possible, but the government does not have the will. So, Mazi, I'll just wrap up by where people are saying, "Oh, buy Nigeria." I understand, and I encourage those that actually patronize, Nigerian-owned businesses. But the onus of it, I will keep saying, falls on the leadership. Those who can influence behavior are those at the very top. Not commoners like me and you can, drive influence. Go and look at how the British they did that. Buy British, buy British cotton in the 1950s and the 1960s. Even in the early 2000s, when I moved to the UK, I saw this buy free range eggs from UK. What is my business between free range egg? I just want egg. I don't want egg that lives in one bedroom apartment or mansion. But they constantly kept drumming that idea, actually asking supermarket to patronize, you understand, British farmers. There was an already available market for you to ply your trade. Now look at Nigerian leaders. How many of them actually patronize, you understand, made in Nigerian goods? Like once the prime minister steps out, I can clearly tell you it's Henry and Herbert that actually makes his suits. I can tell you Savuro. Even when Rishi Sunak actually went out and then stepped out in a Prada suit, he made massive headline. The prime minister wear Prada, and he changed straight away. Even the Indian prime minister, when he wore a lapel that was produced in UK, they lambasted him for it. If Tinubu was to step out tomorrow, and maybe somebody from his comms or press team is actually listing how many things he's wearing. Okay, maybe native from Shei Vibes, watch from Mazi, shoe from Doggy. That is a psychological influence. And I'm looking at your motor card, your whole, makeup of your motor card is innocent or mod. It will give me more confidence. You understand? So actually patronize those business. This is how you influence.
I just want to ask a question, Doggy.
The question you want to ask
I
now
just
will
want to
spoil
ask a
what I
question.
want to say. You go spoil
Yeah,
what
yeah.
I want to say. You go spoil what I want to say. And I'm very, very sure you spoil what I want to say. Now, good. I got you. Yes, very, very. Like, I myself, if you check, the American president drives American car, the Russian president drives Russian car, Chinese government president drives Chinese car, German government drive, even French government drive. I think the biggest car is a Renault Espace. So he drives Renault Espace, their biggest one. I agree. But then, why we are complaining about, for instance, Cadillac Escalade? Oh, it's too expensive and otherwise. For Nord to construct a car for the president of Nigeria, it will be 4 times the price of that, what is it called? Escalade. For Innocent to do the same thing, it will be 3 times, 4 times because it's going to be a brand new construction. But me, I would still prefer it because it will actually encourage the buyers, Nigerian buyers, give courage to them. So okay, Nigerian government is driving our local production. I will encourage it. But then the issue here now is I am not always comfortable in shifting every blame to the government. Do you know why? The highest customer, Dangote, what's it called? The Dangote Pijo, what's it called again? Assembly plant they have is Nigerian federal government. The highest customer Nord has is Nigerian federal government. The highest customer Innocent has is Nigerian federal government, followed by Lagos state government. Good luck Jonathan invested around 20 billion naira into Innocent. Buhari government invested around 16 billion naira. Anambra government did. We, the masses that are now telling the government to buy, how many are we buying? We cannot heap everything on government. How many are we buying? Because we want to talk about the government have actually done enough to give us that encouragement we need to patronize all those locally produced vehicles. I repeat, 75, 80%, no, 90% of innocent vehicles are being bought by federal government. Okay, let me say 80%. Lagos State buy like 5%, and the other West African countries buy the other ones. Me and you are not buying anyone. And we are keeping the blame from government. No, we can't continue that way. We also have to patronize them. Not like I've been retweeting, I've been highlighting, I've been commenting or anytime I see their vehicle, because not vehicles, their design and their structure is actually what standard. Their design is what standard. They have very fine design. I don't know about durability and agility and aerodynamic. I don't know about those, but I think it should be because they are in partnership with one company in China that is doing EV, for instance. But their design is very good, and I've always been highlighting on this. But how many Nigerians are buying it? Majority of their customers are just Yorubas. The Hausas, the Igbos, the Nupes, the other ones are not necessarily buying it. But we always come out here and blame the federal government for not patronizing the people that are producing those cars that we have. No, 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 no. I'm not going to buy it. We also have to put our own quota. Like I said before, federal government is the highest customer of innocent, followed by Lagos state government, followed by Anambra state government. Then the other government comes in. Me and you, which one are we buying? We are not. When Shoduke told me, when I ordered the shoe from her, she's here. She asked which brand. I said, if it's not your brand, I am not buying. Because I wanted to advertise her. And when I wore her shoe, people ordered. She did about 4 or 5 from my friends. Even one white man ordered. But I did not tell her he was a white man. And he's wearing it, he did. But because I was able to wear her brand, that's why they were able to see it. But many of us here, we prefer the right.
All right, sorry, Doggy. So this is the point that I'm making. So like now you're saying Lagos state government buy 80% of the market.
No. Federal government.
Oh, okay,
Federal government buy about.
I'm not disputing that. I don't have the figure at hand. Now you've mentioned.
I know.
Wait. Now you mentioned this. Now I am aware. Now, what I'm saying is where you actually show or promote Nigerian made goods is at the biggest stage. Like, look at King Charles now. He traveled to Italy to give a speech at their parliament. And I'm looking at all his own motor card, although it was more expensive. But they carried on the Rolls Royce, the Aston Martin. It is the silent salesman, the very biggest stage. A president or prime minister is coming to Nigeria. And the biggest stage where the international community is looking, it is all Nord or Innosim motor card you can see. It's not about doing it behind the scene. It's all about marketing and promoting. Somebody abroad or in Africa sees want to patronize.
Hold on now. You heard me say that if Nord or Innocent should construct a car for Nigerian president, it will be 3 or 4 times more expensive than the Cadillac that people are complaining about. But I prefer it. Me myself prefer it because it will encourage Nigerians to see that our president is driving this particular brand. We have to use it. Me myself prefer it, no matter how much it costs. Let it be innocent or not that constructs a presidential car for our president.
Even Tinubu's kaftan. I know he wears local clothes. I want to know who the tailor is. That's where your press team comes in. This is who made I know the watches maybe might be foreign, even though you can wear a locally made, or shoe, and then somebody's putting notes to say, look,
this is where I give it to Good Luck. Good Luck revolutionized that what do they call it?
Is it the hat he wears?
Senator. No, the senator. That senator wear that they wear, that their traditional River State clothes. That bias
they call him senator. They call him Senator Doggy. Now Senator they call him.
Yeah. But good Lord revolutionized it. He made it a trend that people started wearing it after him, and I love it.
So, Doggy, here is my question. Doggy, are you aware that up to date, Anambra State Governor is still driving innocent car, and all his dresses have been Akwete? Are you aware that Anambra State House of Assembly have refused to drive innocent car?
These are the issues now. I mean, for instance,
don't say that. Was it not P-Tinubu was the first governor to promote innocent made cars?
Oh my goodness, P-Tinubu did not even drive innocent car. What are we saying?
Mazi, let's talk about it. P-Tinubu owns one. P-Tinubu owns one and he drove it. So leave that one.
He invested in it.
When the people invested in it, bought for local.
Even allow me Doggy finish. Leave Mazi. Mazi not like P-Tinubu.
No. Both who like P-Tinubu, not like P-Tinubu. I said it here now that Anambra is the third customer they have. I said it here now. It's not even about
Doggy. No, I said yeah, and I thought you're right. Thought after Anambra,
no. What we are saying is drive. P-Tinubu did not make it an official car. He did not.
P-Tinubu was driving to joke. P-Tinubu was driving to joke, not innocent.
Mazi, wait, guys, listen. Mazi, P-Tinubu did not. At that time, Innocent just started his business. P-Tinubu bought one for himself with his money. Now invested over 100 million naira. That time the man never even started it. When did Innocent start?
This is not my argument. He did not make it an official car.
So no, just leave that talk. P-Tinubu did not make it an official car because he was almost leading government.
Okay, Mazi, well understood. We get you now.
You guys are modeling the whole thing. P-Tinubu did not invest 100 million. He invested about 1 billion naira to that business.
1 billion, sorry, Doggy. So at that time the business never even started. Sorry, Doggy. Mazi, that time the business has not even started.
I know. Even P-Tinubu could have used if he wanted, but I'm not like he tried. P-Tinubu tried because he bought for local chiefs. He bought for clergymen. He bought for his government. He did. The ones he gave to police used to got it. He tried on his own. I'm not even here to cap or anything. Anambra is the third customer they have. What I'm saying that we that are criticizing that are wanting the government to do something, what are we doing?
But Doggy, sorry, I want to ask you a question. Doggy, what you're saying is valid. I want to ask you a question, please, Doggy. Why we are saying the federal government has the capacity? Yeah, we know they've been investing and blah blah blah. How can they make it? How can they make it accessible and attractive to Nigeria, knowing that when the credit crunch happened, even the US government gave GM Motors money,
subsidy,
and everything.
Direct subsidy.
The federal government. Wait, sorry, I want to ask Doggy. So because I want to know, people are ready to do these things, but Doggy, we need to also be honest in a society where, in a society where 80% of us support second-hand vehicles because of probably the affordability. In 2024, the government brought a 20 billion consumer credit for Nigerian blah blah blah, but nobody could access it. That's another thing in terms of the transparency in some of these subsidy or things that they put. People do it. It might be stressed because we don't have any credit to any maybe credit records or credit scores for people to go through to access that loan and blah blah blah. What can they do to help people? It is not coming out to do bogus statements for Nigerians to say, oh, we have bought 1,000. We have bought 2,000 for this government and this. And like you said, it should trickle down to the everyday Nigeria to be also able to read what can they do?
Without going too far, that is, I never wanted to bring the government into this conversation, or maybe Tinubu or anything. Let it not be that I'm advertising or defending somebody. But because of the question you asked now, consumer credit. You want to buy Nigerian made, we can, like you go to bank, the bank gives you pay its installments. It will help those locally made vehicles. It will help also the people that want to buy. And those local manufacturers should also up their quality to be at a particular standard, not that you buy today, tomorrow is spoiled, and there's no repair and everything. So these are very, very important factors that have to be fulfilled. What I'm saying is that the government is already doing enough to be patronizing them, to hold them, to keep them afloat and everything. That's actually one point that I wanted to make. God, forgotten this point. Somebody made that point before. I really actually wanted to talk about it.
Your president is your best
If
salesman in the
Uh,
country.
um, hold on. Somebody, I don't know who. Hold on. I don't know who asked me that question before. I think it was KB. Whether Germans are, can we say there are some? Yes, there are some Germans that are lazy. But please let nobody, no, don't even dare. Germans are workaholic. They are from nature workaholic, and they are being stimulated as they grow into the workforce. You see, children that are 14 already, they are already starting working. 14, 16, by 18, they don't go into either into workforce, or they go into your apprenticeship, or they go into university. There is no staying at home for you. This is how they are being trained. This is how they are being nurtured from nature. So don't even go there. Don't even compare. Had it been Nigeria, we have the German system. Yeah, also I agree here. This is also where the government comes in. They stimulate them as they grow up into this direction. They have made all these um handworks and otherwise. They make it. They add a fizzy. They add posh life to it. They make it
hospital,
look very,
But
very
Doggy,
different.
the Southeast
Yeah,
has
also
that kind of system of training apprenticeship.
yeah, the
no,
South
it's
has
different.
Eba
So
boy,
hospital
but
is not
the,
not the
See,
Africa.
even
Oh. Just
be
forget it.
rookie, that Southeast.
I will said it is
Hold on,
before.
hold on,
It
hold
is
on,
before.
hold on. Let me explain. Let me explain. It's actually exactly the same thing. Only that the German government have added push to it. They make it look lucrative, look attractive, look very good. There is no difference between somebody who is going to university and somebody who's doing hospital. There's actually like the difference should be like, let me say,
No,
5%
don't actually
difference
it's the
only.
same. If you
If
do that program for 12 years, it's equivalent of PhD. So it's still the same thing.
yes, you know, if you know, if you do 3 years,
It's bachelor degree.
you can go into the work. And the more like after 3 years, you go into the workforce. After that, maybe you work for 2 or 3 years. You can still further your apprenticeship. You go into school, you still further it. After then you upgrade, you still further it. They make it look like university, though it's apprenticeship.
Even
And this
Doggy,
is
the
what Nigeria.
Southeast model is even better than the German model. If Nigeria was serious,
No,
Doggy, wait,
no, no, no,
let
no,
me
no, no,
just
no,
land,
no,
Mazi.
no, 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 no. You're not
Eh,
understanding it.
Let me
no,
just
the
land.
issue is this now. The Nigerian pattern.
You're not
Small
understanding.
Mazi, you know why I made that?
When you go, let me tell you the difference. Let me tell you the difference before you will go. The difference here is that when you do the apprenticeship here and graduate, they give you a certificate. You must not work by your boss and you must not open your own shop. With that certificate, you can go and work in any company. So it's equivalent to university degree. This is the difference here. It's equivalent to the university degree, although you need the apprenticeship that you can use to work in any
All right, so
workforce.
Doggy, why I said it is actually better. I need the Nigerian government is serious. We seriously need to study that module because there's no credit scheme anywhere. These guys, they don't. I'm not even sure if they do annual business planning. Your master just gives you probably 500K or 1 million, and it's just successful. They just go somewhere and they replicate the same thing. When I go to Alaba, I just see and I look at them and I ask questions like, "Do you guys have a budget planning? How do you know this phone business would sell? There's like 10 or 6, all of you in one row, and you can replicate this same thing in Alaba everywhere, and you can see that success." So maybe if Nigeria government
Uh,
is really
great, great,
serious.
great, great. Had it been that this thing is still much alive, I would have been happy. I'm very, very happy. Growing up, I see so many people going to boy kind of thing. Nobody is agreed to go that place now. Nobody is doing that. It is very, very difficult for you now to find one boy. I'm telling you the
Hold
experience.
on,
Doggy, let me land. Doggy, let me land now.
let me
So
tell you
let
the
me
reason
land
for
there. Let
now.
me land. I'm speaking. Let me land. Let me land, Doggy. It is very, very difficult in the southeast now. Any state you went to find one boy now, it's very, very difficult to see someone that will become and be learn work or come and learn all this training that you are talking about. Had it been that it's very, very much active, you will say, how can government step in? But people are now running away from it. Nobody wants to go and spend 5 years or 6 years probably just because of what had happened before. People will spend their entire life of 7 years, 10 years without no settlement. So people are running away from it. To be honest, people are running away from it. So, Doggy, please make the point you want to make so we can move this mic. Doggy, are you there? Can anyone hear me?
Martin. The difference here is that the German government intentionally and directly keep on upgrading and beautifying it and adding quality and adding sense and like making it look attractive. Unlike in Nigeria now, isn't it boy? When you say I want to go and do boy, you already at the bottom level, you already like you don't have hope anymore. This is the least.
Doggy, tell them how much they pay per month. Your first year. Tell them in the year. 1,200 euros just to start every month. They will pay you. Bank manager for Nigeria, how much they collect?
They're paying you as you're doing that apprenticeship. They're paying
every year. They pay your salary. Every year till you graduate.
And they do it in a way that your insurance will be paid, your tax will be paid. The person you're working will pay part of it, government will pay part of it, so that you have enough money for you to live while you're doing that apprenticeship. And they make it, and the best part of it is that when you graduate, you have a certificate that you can use in work in other companies.
It's waiting for you. Companies are waiting for you now. Okay, let's allow others to continue.
Hold on. Let's assume now you did apprenticeship in mechanic as a mechanic or mechanic, and that company you did apprenticeship did not want you. You can easily go to Biruki's company and tender your certificate, and they will employ you. You can easily go to Maz's mechanic workshop, even organizer workshop, anyone that carpenter, tailor, hairstylist, anyone you learned, they will give you certificates that prove that you have graduated in this field, and you can use it to look for work anywhere, anytime, any place. So they are on, and the thing is that they keep on upholding it, making it like they upgrade it, they beautify it, they add push to it. Somebody who have gone to university and you, the gap is not that much. The gap is not that much. So you cannot compare. You can't actually compare.
Okay.
This is where we are doing this. Yeah. So Mazi, coming to are we poor or just lazy? Mazi, I will still come back to it. Don't let me end with this one. I will still come back to it.
Okay.
So beautiful. You remember when we had that argument of 200k per day? And I was saying that you cannot argue that two people are making 200k per day and still say that we are poor. But people were trying to prove to me that making 200k per day is normal. 200k per day is around 6 million naira in a month. And they were saying that it's normal. If they're saying that it is possible, but it is normal. And the people that are telling you that it's normal, before me, will be telling you that to make 6 million naira in a month is normal. It means I am earning around that. I mean, like, that's why I said before, it's either we like to lie to ourselves or we like to make agenda based on.
Now, here is what we are. If you want us to have that conversation, here is what we are going to do. How many percent of Nigeria are making 200 per day? How many percent are not?
Okay.
How many Nigerians are making 200 per day?
Listen to me. Listen first. I was arguing that following the economic situation of Nigeria, even if that girl is making it, that it is justified that people are raising their eyebrow. And people are saying, no, it is impossible because of the. But they were telling me that it is normal, that many people are making it. I was even arguing with them that 95% of Nigeria don't have 500k in their account. They tell me it's a lie. The Nigerians are balling, Nigerians are making money, they are this, they are that, they are that. So the people that are after making that argument will still come and tell me that. So it's as if that when we create a topic, people just follow anywhere by left face. As far as the agenda has followed one direction, people follow without using their brain. I think people have subsidized their brain to the influencers, those who shaping the conversation. Because they don't. If you must use your brain, you cannot argue that Nigerians are making 200K per day and still come and tell me that Nigerians are poor. You can't make that argument. But in conclusion, Mazi, some Nigerians are lazy. Some Nigerians are lazy. You cannot open a company in Nigeria and employ people to manage it and they liquidate it and tell me they're not lazy. You can't. You can't tell me that. A hard-working person, a creative mind, all his own will be great and carry that company so that as they to be able to create more jobs, create more wealth, create everything so that that company will prosper. If Charlie should open company today, the people in Nigeria should carry it up. If I should open, if Biruki should open, but we will open on a go there, chop them down because you will not get sense. And you want to tell me you're not lazy? You're lazy. It's laziness. Don't come and tell me that it is because that's laziness there. And I did one. 12 trucks. Imagine how many 12 trucks, how many people 12 trucks will employ. One driver, one conductor is already 24 people working directly. One driver, one conductor is already 24. We have not gone to the loaders, the vulcanizers, the whatever. Directly and indirectly, I could have gotten like 40 people. But they mismanage it. And you want to tell me that, and they're on the street now shouting there's no job opportunity for Nigerians. They are lazy. You can tell me if you want to tell me they are lazy. As I am here now, the other example I gave, you give me shipment, and I know that the price is 4,500, and because I know you're a politician, I say it's 5,500. You say no. That people are giving you 4,800, which is already above my 4,500, and I no agree. I said no, I no agree. Then you move. I went to Biruki, and Biruki collected 4,500, and you told me that I'm not lazy. I'm intellectually lazy. I am business lazy. I am not wise. If I should be a hard worker, I must, even sometimes you have to reduce from your price to make sure that you get that job done. But they saw that I came from Obodo, they wanted to inflate the price, and I no agree. They come out, and I did it to work. You tell me that they are lazy. You can argue that from now till next year. They are lazy. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. So that's how Shogu, please go ahead. So we can have Ola. Shogu, please go ahead.
Hello, can I go? Okay.
Mazi, you called me after Doggy earlier.
No. It's because he dropped. I thought he left.
I dropped.
So after him, you will go. Yeah.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, thank you guys. So on this question of Nigerians are poor or lazy, I think I will personally. I don't think Nigerians are lazy, and I don't think Nigeria being poor. Is a man. It's something of mentality, right? It's not like because a lot of Nigerians are doing great exploit, and if you talk to a foreigner about Nigerian being lazy or poor, they will have a different interpretation about that. But one thing about Nigeria is I think it's just a matter of orientation. Because I was talking to a friend and I said, like, Nigerians always say they are looking for an enabling environment. There's no light in Nigeria, there's no light in Nigeria. But when Nigerians travel abroad, are they very creative? Are they very entrepreneurial compared to maybe Indians, Pakistans, Jews, Chinese, and the rest of it? A lot of Nigerians are like entrepreneurial, they do a lot of stuff, but are they really doing a lot of things? For example, in Nigeria, there are a lot of software developers, tech. They mentioned tech, crypto, and the rest of it. In that creative space, in that space, tech, in terms of creativity in tech, how many of them are really building apps? There are many apps, for example, in Nigeria that Nigeria doesn't have. There are many websites that are not being built, data warehouses and the rest of it. Nigerians are not doing it. And there's a market for this thing. Nigeria, for example, can be like the China of Africa, but nobody's doing anything about it. And the only way Nigeria can actually make money is by exporting services and products to other countries, not even within. Like, it's just there. And Nigerians are smart. They can do all these things. So I was asking him, like, so what if they say enabling environment? That's why when people say, there's no light 24 hours. There are a lot of Nigerians in the UK. How many of them are really building anything? In America, how many of them are really building anything? They go to South Africa, how many are really building stuffs? It's not a matter of selling. It's okay to be a middleman and sell. But in terms of creating, building, how many people are building? compared to other groups from like Pakistan, Indians, and if you go on YouTube, for example, YouTube is awash with Indians creating content about different things, apart from maybe comedy, entertainment. How many Nigerians are building manga cartoons? How many Nigerians are building comics? Nigerians are practically not doing a lot of things. They can do it, but nobody's doing it. So and in as much as Nigerians like to blame the government for everything, is it the government? And even if you do juxtapose it with America and the rest of it, and Europe and America were very, 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 very corrupt when they were being built. Very, very corrupt. The story of capitalism is corruption, chronic corruption, from assassination to bribing the entire government to doing anything. That's what capitalism is. But they built it. So it's not so all this excuse of blaming everybody except ourselves from the family, I think it's an excuse. In as much as it is there, the government can enable you. In all those countries, the only thing the government did for them was just let them be. Like, don't interfere with business. Let them do what they have to do. And the businesses were, even till now, like we can see what's happening in the world now, it is capitalism. They are killers. They don't care. But they are building what they are meant to build. Europe was a feudalist system, slavery and the rest of it, child labor, a lot of nonsense when they were building Europe. But they built it. So I don't know how to place those questions. We can't say they are lazy because we can't like disregard the work of a lot of Nigerians, both home and abroad, that are doing exploits. And in terms of poverty, the world has a different interpretation for Nigeria. So I don't know where to place it, but I think it's just a matter of the orientation of Nigerians to be more creative and build, like software developers should build softwares, build apps, instead of like blaming the government every time. And everybody don't need to build car. It's it's very but there are many things Nigerians can build. You can build for Africa, you can build for Ghana, you can build for Benin Republic, you can build for people. So I think it's just a matter of orientation, and that starts from the family group. Nigeria have this mentality of everybody must work in civil service, or must you be arguing about getting a job. As an agric student, you studied agriculture, you are looking for a job, like you practically studied how to be an entrepreneur. You are a computer scientist, you can build stuffs. But everybody, we are arguing about the government creating job. Why is the government trying to create job for you that you studied agric? You can actually start a farm. You don't need to start it in Nigeria. You can start it anywhere in the world. It's a playing field, So, and Nigerians are well traveled. So apart from maybe being middlemen and trades, I think it's just a matter of reorientation of people, just to like start creating stuffs and stop blaming everybody except ourselves on what to do and do how to move forward as a people. So I just thought I should chip that in. Thank you, guys.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a
Can I ask you a
question?
question, please?
Well, yeah,
Okay.
you ask him. Let me use this point so we can ask him. So, there is no country in the world that can survive with government jobs alone. What so many big countries does is to create a noble environment for their citizens to thrive. You're asking people to go into online tech, right? Are you aware that to access internet from Nigeria, as someone living in Nigeria, it's like using your leg to go to Ghana?
But we have
There,
rich
there
people's
are there
children
are
that
so many there are so many web you cannot even access as someone living in Nigeria. I'm
but
telling you the
wait.
honest truth. As
Okay, I get, I
someone,
get, I understand,
as
I get,
someone,
I understand that. But let me
yeah,
chip in something now.
yeah,
Let's
yes.
say the population of Nigeria is 200 million. Let's use percentages. Let's say we have, let's say 20 million well-to-do Nigerians. 20 million. That's about 10%, which should be more than that. Let's give that 10%. 10%, 20 million is the population of an entire country. Are you telling me 20? Let's say 10%. Let's only have maybe like 5% or whatever percent. Very small. Maybe like 10 million people in Nigeria can afford those things you're talking about. So are you telling me all those rich people's children or middle class children that can afford? We are not talking about people looking for 200k salaries or whatever, but that can afford those things. Why are they not building it? If Nigeria has 5 million people that are okay and are being creative enough to do all these things, it will tilt the fortunes of the country.
I think, bro, I think you need to go and talk to people going into online tech from Nigeria, and more especially people living in Nigeria.
My brother, let me talk to him.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Mazi, let me ask him. You said
Let me launch LP because I
okay.
know this area specifically as far as someone writing, right? There are online tools you cannot access from Nigeria. Someone living in Nigeria, there are online tools for you to be able to succeed as a content creator. There are online tools you cannot access as someone living in Nigeria. Even though you say that you want to be a content creator, are you aware that it is recently that Facebook just announced the monetization content for Nigerians? Recently, Facebook. But I've been
So,
here collecting.
so you think
I've been
Nigerians
here.
are limited to build
Limited access to from
software
Nigerians are very, very, in fact, overwhelming. If you go
for
into
building
that
software?
online, you think that, oh, as someone, see, great, someone that is living in US and I'm living in Nigeria. Let me give you as an example.
Mm-hmm.
It will take me like 5 years for me to be able to succeed, but it's going to take someone in US, for instance, 2 years or 3 years or even 1 year for that person to succeed because he have everything going on for him. I'm telling the honest truth. I'm here.
Okay, I get what
If
you're
you do
saying,
not have that mind
but
of
if you say,
patience, you
let
will
me
not be able
ask
to
you,
succeed.
let me
Yeah.
ask you a question. Now, you need to build something, right? You are comparing 3 years to 5 years. Does that time really matter for you to if you want to build something?
As someone that don't have money that
You
wants
are
to make
you are
money
at a
for themselves, as
disadvantage.
someone,
Why are you
do
comparing
you know
yourself
what
to?
is patience? Do you know what is patience? As someone that not have money, you need to have money. You need to be buying some online tools. You need to be doing some other things.
Mazi, take
You need
it
to take
easy. You
care
know
of
why I like
yourself.
Shegu?
Mm-hmm.
How can you be able to succeed? Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
Can I ask
I
him a
Shegu,
question after
Yeah,
Kelly,
where
please?
don't speak.
yeah.
I love the analysis you put. I Shegu, you know, say monkey no fit born snake. You know that one, Abi?
Yep.
Thank you. So, environment is really important.
Mm-hmm.
And you can't take it away, whether we like to sing praises or not. You're talking about the Indians, the Paki. Do you know how they get money to start these businesses? Have you entered their financial model of growth or personal growth? Have you ever tried it before? Have you ever asked most of these Indian businesses in Nigeria, let's not even come to abroad, how they're able to come, like you said, and create businesses that we are working? Have you ever asked them the model before? You know, when you make this investigation, I think some of this your analysis will change. I agree with what you said. But let me tell you the truth. Nigerians put themselves under mental stress to get to where they are, anywhere they find themselves in the world. No matter a Chinese you see in America can access loan in China. An Indian can access loan in India. A Pakistan can always access to grow those businesses. Some of them at even zero interest. Go and ask and they will tell you. You know, it is always us when we come and this
And
thing.
no,
Like I said again,
I know those facts, right? But the thing is,
so Shegu, if you
yeah.
know all these facts, why are you still telling us
But
that we
as
are the
okay, for
problem?
example, now as an
Like, do you,
individual,
like Mazi said, wait now, calm down.
yeah.
Like Mazi said, do you know how much patience costs? Do you know how much everyday struggle costs? These are not tangible costs you see, like Naira and Kobo. It is stability. It is the untouched part of that drive that is the biggest problem. And that's why when you talk about creativity,
Charlie, we may stop all this is all the talk here. There are many startups that have been started in Nigeria.
That's what I told
Sorry,
you.
no,
can I
doggy,
What,
ask
doggy, we're not.
Kevin a
I'm
what
listening now,
internet
question?
do there?
doggy. I agree with you.
Yeah,
We
so
are
not the
putting it on the.
internet,
We
not
are
be the
putting
same
it on.
internet they
See,
take do
Sorry, can
not
I
the
doggy,
same
ask
we are
internet
Kevin
they
putting
a
it. We
take
are
do
see.
question?
Like
Okay,
I
no,
said,
the rest more.
doggy,
Let's not be creating excuses for everything.
doggy,
That internet what we not do. May we build and that's what we need to do.
Nobody is
May
making.
we
No,
build,
nobody,
may we
doggy.
build that internet.
Okay. Sorry, doggy. It's not a fight, and it's not an excuse, right? What we are saying is that if you're doing something and you are seeing little results, it's cool. But if you're doing something like in online spaces and you wake up tomorrow morning and this is like going from worst to worst, I mean, going from frying pan to fire, that patient will be, it will be reduced to 5%. I'm telling you the honest truth. Government needs to step up. Are you aware that he cannot even oh my goodness. Government need to step up and do something about people going into online like my brother suggest. They need to do something about it. Right? They need to do something about it. This is me. Oh, even people, are you aware? So many people are living with being affiliate marketing across the country. So many people are living. I want to be an affiliate marketing, digital marketing program, this and that, blah blah blah. So many people are living with that. So many people are living large with that. But for you to do that, bro, to be an affiliate marketer in Nigeria, bro, you need to go extra miles. I'm telling you the honest truth. And this is what I'm saying. You need to go extra miles. You cannot, Are we not here? I can sit down here now and buy something in Amazon, but I cannot be an affiliate marketing there. Guys, I cannot access it directly. AliExpress, how about them? I can buy something with my card. Can I go now and register as an affiliate market there? Possibly no. So what are we saying? But you people can go ahead. Maybe people.
Sorry, can I ask Shogun a question?
Let me ask you a question, Mark. Let me ask you.
Doggy, let me say something
Doggy,
before.
I'm talking.
Doggy, sorry.
Now other
I
people speak.
want to
Can
ask
I
Mark
ask
a question.
Shogun a
Make you continue. I
question?
want to ask Mark a question.
If I
No,
say you are
Doggy, go
not
ask
allowing
them.
us to
Doggy,
speak
what
now,
I'm
you will
trying to
mute
say.
me. Oh.
Doggy,
Maz, I'd
what I'm
like to
trying to
ask
say.
Shogun a
See,
question, sir.
Shegu is right, and I keep saying. But like you said, you cannot use few people. You know, one thing I always talk about when we make comment, don't use your small environment to keep a yardstick in conversation. It kills the whole thing. Have I given up as me as Charlie P or my friends? No. I have tried in the Nigerian context, but I will not come and be saying, oh, this. It is not. Like Mazi said, there are many things tools people can't access. I know a lot of people begging me to open an account so they can do business from Nigeria, so they'll be paying it here. It's as difficult as that. Nobody's saying that people shouldn't make in the developed country, Doggy. People they fail now. Businesses are failing. Things are not working too.
Charlie,
But like I said,
make
if
I
we
ask
can
my
create that
question.
opportunity in our own space,
Make
a
I ask
lot of things will
make I ask
I
my
want
question.
to ask Shogun a
You
question.
can ask back.
You ask on
Charlie P.
I thought you ask. Hold on.
Sorry, Doggy. Charlie P. I
Make
was
I ask
just
my
going to
question
ask
now. I
you.
wanted to ask question first. Hold on now.
But
Make I ask
Charlie
question.
P
No,
was not the
one
last
second, Doggy.
speaker
Like,
now.
just to
Shogun
make
was the
this
last speaker. Can we
conversation
ask
more
the last
broader.
speaker,
Charlie
please,
P, I was
sir?
going to ask you a question.
Let's go one after the other.
Yeah.
Let us
Okay.
ask
I would
them
like
the
to
question you
ask
can ask.
Shogun.
All right. Okay, Charlie P. I was going to say, what is the percentage of Nigerians that are employed by the federal government? To just let you know, the private sector is trying. So 50 to 60 million Nigerians are employed. Let's go by the stats. I know the Nigerian Civil Service employs, that's the federal government, employs about 700,000, 2023-2024 figures. State governors or state government, I know Lagos is about 120. So you use that yardstick. So probably about 5 million. That's less.
It's not up to that. We're
Yeah,
talking
it's not
about
even
2
up to
million.
that. I'm just even bumping up the figure. So about 90%, the private sector is already carrying that burden, coupled with environment that's not even business friendly, and they're still thriving. I can tell you, if you were to move those entrepreneurs in Germany and the rest to Nigeria in this same environment, they will not excel or succeed. If you were to give Nigeria 24 hours electricity, you will see industry start to spring up. Is it block making businesses or maybe content creation, affiliate marketing, like Mazi was saying? You will see those start to thrive. Look at the entertainment industry. You understand? You need to bring laws to actually protect against piracy and things like this. The government doesn't actually, the government, I don't even, to be honest with you, I don't even know the role and function of a government in Nigeria. It is just to share money. That's what they've done. And I keep asking the question, list one industry that the Nigerian government since 1960 has been able to build from scratch to
You
the
are still
top.
making
And
a
I'm telling you,
mistake.
not even one
You're
that
still
is
making a
solid
Sorry,
and
can
mistake.
I ask
functioning well.
Shogun a
You're still making a
question?
mistake, Coach. You're still making a mistake. I make I ask
Doggy,
my
you
question.
have spoken
Make I,
before now. Let
now
other
me first
people talk
now me
now.
first one question ask question now. Now me first one ask
No, I
question.
thought I might ask Shogun. Shogun not the last speaker. You know they asked last speaker now. Now I don't want to ask the last speaker
Oh
wait
yeah,
talk.
make I ask.
Thank you very much, Doggy. Thank you. Mr. Shogun, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay. Mr. Shogun, can you say what is the poverty rate of India?
I'm not sure, except I want to quickly check that online now.
Okay.
What's
And
the poverty
do
rate?
you know what? I think when I just Google quickly, I might be wrong, but it's below 5%
Mm-hmm.
from what I quickly saw.
Mm.
And what is the poverty rate of Nigeria?
I think they are saying like I'm not sure. Maybe 40, 30%. I'm not sure about that. But around
Yeah,
that,
40%
around that,
is,
yeah.
and then multi-dimensional poverty is about 60 something
Yeah,
percent, correct?
yeah.
Good. So tell me now, sir, how is a how are the population of a country whose population, or more than 50% of its population, is in multi-dimensional poverty is able to have money or generate capital to develop businesses?
You see, like, one thing about numbers, right, is if you are saying a country of 1 billion, their poverty rate is 5%, and the country of 200 million, if you do the numbers, you see that there's something close there, right? And if you consider the fact, and when I talked about percentages, right, Nigeria just, for me, I think the country needs, as it is now, if Nigeria has like 10% active, creative, and very, like, very, very intelligent, smart at 20, that's 20 million people. I think the fortune of the country can change. Even at 5%, that's 10 million people, right? Because if all those 10 million people are doing stuff, like I said, I'm not like saying the government is good, or I'm not saying all that or anything. I am just saying, in as much as we can blame the government, we need to also encourage people to do more. That's why I said I will not say Nigerians are lazy or poor. If we have 10 million people that are actually doing this stuff, which are children of rich people already, corrupt people, whatever they have these monies to do all these things, all this internet and all these things we are talking about. Their children go to the best schools, they have all these monies. Those are the people I'm even talking about. I'm not talking about poor people now. So that is like, I'm not talking of poor people. I know they can't do stuff, but there are people that can actually afford
So,
to do these things, to employ those ones that
so
can't do stuff.
how does
You get?
How can
10%?
a criminal use money well now? You don't see what if they use money well.
But Americans
Hold
too
on,
had gangsters that they build stuff.
Shogun, sorry. How is 10 million or 10%
Uh,
of a population going to represent the whole population?
you know what I'm saying, right? For example, China. They started building, right? You build, you become an entrepreneur, become a boss, you employ more people. They do it already in
Who
Nigeria.
started
You
building?
just
Was
need
it
to
the
go.
government or the? I love you,
No,
fact you
no,
brought China.
citizens. I'm not talking of governments now. I'm just,
No,
yeah.
you said China started building.
Mm-hmm,
In China, who started building? Was it the government making a conscious effort
mm-hmm.
to start their industrialization process, or was it the private citizens?
That's why I saw the reorientation. It's just a
Oh
matter
God.
of,
So it's a direct
because China as
question.
well. Let me chip in something about China as
Actually,
Oh
well.
to
God.
They made a lot of mistakes, right? A lot of people died when they wanted to start building their country. So it's not as if they
But
just
that's not what
started.
I asked,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah. It's not as if they just started
I
and
asked
yeah.
again. In
Mm-hmm.
China, who made the conscious effort towards industrialization? Was it the government or the people?
it was the people.
No, both of them. We can't.
No, the
Again,
government has
China
The
stopped.
is
government
a,
initiated a lot of, yeah,
No,
excuse
yeah.
me, China is a communist
their
It's
land.
a
country.
communist
It
party.
cannot
Yes, a
be.
communist party did, yeah.
Biruki, again,
Mm-hmm,
Biruki, please mute your mic. China is a communist country.
mm-hmm.
It's impossible for the people to do that on their own. Government owns all the means of production in China. Please,
What happened
let's
to the
not
People's
do.
Bank in 1989?
Oh,
Look
God
it up.
of mercy. Biruki, can you just mute? I wasn't talking to you, sir, please. It's Shogun I was exchanging with. So, Shogun,
Yeah.
sir, again, in China
Mm-hmm.
or in any industrial country, was it the government leading the industrialization, or was it the people as a part of you bringing
In
China
the
up?
case of Europe, it was the people because it was capitalism. In the case of America, like I mentioned, the barons and everyone that built America, they were not like the best people. Read about them; they were crazy people, right? And they did it. The only thing the government did was leaving them to do whatever they wanted to do. They were corrupt. They were bribing judges, senators, all those people that built rail in America. Read about them. They were crazy people. They did all these things that Nigerians are complaining about Nigerian politicians. They are worse than them. But they built these things. That's what I'm saying. People can be reoriented to build. China is a communist party, like you said, so we can't easily say the people or the government. They did it together because the Communist Party too is driven by ideologies and philosophies of people that ran it, which they made a lot of errors, which people try to excuse them from. Many people died while they were trying to do all these things. Do you understand? So that's why I said, like, all the country needs is just to have more people being creative, building industry, whatever they get their money from. Like, it's like,
How can you be creative when you're living in multi-dimensional
but
poverty,
not
sir?
everybody in Nigeria is poor. That's what I'm saying. Like, I'm okay for okay. Let me ask you a question. Let
53%
me
of
ask
the
you a question.
population
Let me
is
ask
in
you a question. How many
multi-dimensional. Like, that's
Nigerians?
I think, I
practically.
think, I think this conversation is very long. Poor people can also be creative. So that question is very, very. In fact, most of the poor people I know are very, very creative. But just like they do not have people to push that talent forward. They do not have that. That fund, that opportunity for that. That is the reason why I say government need to step in. There are a lot of talented Nigeria wasted in Nigeria just because they did not have any opportunity to showcase it, right? So there are a lot of talented people that have died. Their talent died off just because they did not have anywhere else to showcase it. Look, Nigeria government should do better. We are not saying that you should come and create job for us. You can't create job that can favor the entire country, like 200 plus Nigerians. It cannot. Government cannot do it alone. But can you create an enable environment
Mazi, please,
for business?
just a little.
Casey,
One question.
hold on. Can you create an enable environment? Give us steady power, electricity. Give us some certain things. Make it easy for us to access the internet. Everything is going digital. I cannot wake up in the morning and try to load my internet. My internet will be loading like 10 minutes. And they want me to stay. I'm telling you, I can bet every one of us, half of the people staying on this space cannot load a web for 5 minutes. You will log off. That is the reason why if you're creating a website, you will make it easier for people to come in. Because 5% of that out of 10% that visited that website will leave after loading for 5 minutes and the web is not loaded. So the government need to do better. Our internet is very, very low. Very, when I say low, lowest of the low. Very, very low. Honestly, you have to go, not only to come on Twitter, maybe log on Twitter. Go to web and search some things. You know that we are in mess if you're living in Nigeria. To be honest, let's have Ola.
A question.
Who are you
Last
asking?
question.
I had
Question.
question.
Okay, let Doug ask his question. He has been itching to ask that question. Doug, please go ahead.
Yeah, Mazi, the internet you're talking about, the one in America that is good, the one in Germany that is good, the one in China that is good, and a person build up. That's what Shegu is saying. Let us build our own. Let us, the existing internet that we're talking about, can we modify it? Can we make put on the you know
Okay, yeah,
we're
you are
talking
cutting
about
on my end. You are cutting.
okay, sorry. Is it better now?
Yeah, it's better now. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if you heard what I
Doggy,
said before.
doesn't your country not subsidize internet?
No, they don't. I don't think so. Anyway, let me not say what I don't know. I don't think
They
so.
might do it indirectly.
Yeah,
I'm not
even
sure.
Doggy, I know one of Tinubu's manifesto is to give a national broadband by 2025. I think that's in his manifesto.
Eh?
Yeah,
Yes, it's in his manifesto.
possibly. I
It
don't
says
know
going
anyway. I don't know
to
about
do
that
a
one.
national broadband by
Yeah,
2025.
yeah, but what I'm saying here now is, Mazi, you were talking about there are many websites we can't access because we are from Nigeria, and government should do something about it. What exactly do you expect government to do? If you check about crime, internet crime, we are not even top 10. But talk about the loudness therein. We are the loudest. We are the loudest. So, what exactly do you expect government to do when we have used our tongues to advertise Nigeria as if we are the crime capital of the world? Because it is we that are doing those things that they are making them exclude us from those websites that you're talking about. A reminder, we are not top 10 in internet crime, but we are the loudest. So what exactly do you expect government to do in this case?
Though we can answer your
That's my
question.
question. Yeah.
Very simple. Your university, forget content creators. No country have developed with content creators, no country. Your country research, very simple. To publish paper across Europe, across most of the world, the government have paid for it. Anybody, if I publish 30 paper today, government will pay for it. I pay for nothing. All I need to do is just upload my paper. Government have paid. I want to read papers published. Government have paid for it. Anything I want to read, all the paywall, I can read any magazine in the entire world. I want to access any library in the entire world with my phone. I will log in. If I want to move across the whole of Europe, any university, I don't need to ask for permission to enter Wi-Fi. They've already taken care of it. I just need to move in. All I need to just click. I said any university. I don't need to. You know why? Government pay for it.
Even Biruki, that's a standard educational. That's standard.
You said the issue now. I'm talking of research. Just imagine all your thesis paper, bachelor degree, master's degree, PhD. When they for back of a university, they said to Mama Akara, Terapcon in the campus. All your thesis that is going on, all your CD plate, diskettes. Imagine they digitize everything, keep it in your university. Ministry of Science and Technology in Abuja. Company say like this hospital we're talking about now. So pick, they say we don't get power problem. You want to solve power problem in Nigeria? Go to your university, electrical electronics faculty. Go there. Solution is there already. I mean, at the state level, microgrid. Go any department. I say just enter faculty, any university. I don't give a fuck. Anyone in Nigeria, any problem you think of in Nigeria, solution is university. How come there is no connect? That's why I said if the government just pump their, I'm not talk of dash money. We allocate 5 million to university. No, this project, you need 10 computer, 15 this on the spot. Dump them for them. You are responsible for it. In 10 days, we are coming back for report. You employ 5 students. Like we do in Nigeria, we just dump money, say test fund. No. Year on, because I'm in the system. You have a problem. Company go carry problem, come. This problem is worth 1 million euros. Okay, I want to solve them. Professors, they will sit and look at it, say, okay, we will solve this problem with 200,000 euros. Give us a breakdown. We will employ 3 PhD students. In 3 years, this is how much you pay them. We will employ 10 master students. Bachelor students, yeah, if bachelor students do this, they pay them 2,800 euros. Bachelor, nothing is free. Masters is 3,000. I mean, for you to do thesis, they go pay you again to do thesis because a company, they need your results. You know why? If they want to employ engineer, you know how much they go pay? 6,000 times 14 in a year. How much you want to pay students? In go work for 6 months, you go give them 2008. Engineer won't drink money in just 1 month. So basically, they are working hand in. And now I said, the government, like that was an issue. Just only research alone can solve a lot of problems in Nigeria. Only that one alone. Just make it, just pay for the universities. That's all. Over to you, Mazi.
Well, I don't think Mazi is.
What's your view?
Please go ahead. Yeah.
Thank you, Mazi. And Doggy, sorry, Doggy, please, Doggy, I beg. I've been waiting for.
No, continue. I just wanted to appreciate Biruki for the answer he gave.
All right, thank you. So I would not even use up the 3 minutes, and I'll be getting off the speaker section. Yeah, this is a very good conversation. This is a very good topic, and at least for once, there we're having conversations that is geared towards nation development and nation building. So, yeah, kudos to you, Mazi, on that. Yeah, and just to the topic, are we poor? We're just lazy. First, I don't think we're lazy, right? I think Nigerians are. If you're going to call probably top 10 countries with the most hardworking people, I would rate Nigerians to be among the top 10. Are we poor? Yes, we're poor. Yeah, we are intellectually poor. We are poor with infrastructure. We are poor with leadership. Sorry, we're poor with leadership. We are poor with different faces. Yeah, but the people, the general Nigerians, are not poor people. Let's just put that aside. You see, you're talking about productivity and about driving development and everything. And I've had people say, "Oh, don't let's blame the government. Let's call on the people. Let's think outside the box and stuff like that." I just feel like that doesn't work. Yeah, the government itself, literally like drive development. So, for instance, there are some stuff the government can put in place, right? With even not with the intention of making money, right? But just with the intention of driving economical activities, which we in turn leads to like economical progress, right? For instance, in London, for instance, they started like the night tube train, right? In the transport section, and I could tell you, TFL Transport for London is not making money, even from even from providing train services. And I tell you, it's one of the most expensive train within London, right? Within the UK, but they are not making money, right? But they are constantly ensuring that service is in place because that service drives productivity. Night tube that they don't make money. I will tell you, let's say it's costing like £100, yeah, for to run a night tube train, just for instance, right? I will tell you the company itself makes £30. just from running that type night tube. But the company ensure and the government ensure that that night tube is in place because it fosters development in different sector, right? So, for instance, you have what's it called? You have more police officers that are working. You have more clubs that are opening. You have more stores. You have more so many other that's interconnected. And I think first thing, if we are going to talk about developing us as a country, our education is bad. We have to first, and that's one of the things why I was wondering with this present admission, and I would like to, even though we don't want to make it political, I would like to say in 2027, I would, if the president or before election year, 2026, the president can come and tell us on key infrastructure, key department within the country, yeah, where did you meet it at? What have you taken us to? So, for instance, we say we have an literacy level of about 80 or 70%, right? Where we can now make argument that primary education doesn't fall within the purview of the president, but it has a way of like ensuring and also motivating whatever governors and whichever to make it, just generally, yeah. So in 2 years' time, tell us how much of have you improved the educational sector because we are poorly engaged. Yeah, if you get a bricklayer in Togo, a bricklayer in Togo will do a more effective job than a bricklayer in Nigeria. Now, it's not that because the bricklayer in Nigeria is lazy, but because the bricklayer in Nigeria was poorly trained, and the bricklayer in Nigeria has been fine-tuned to believe he's just doing this to survive. He's not seeing it as a career, as a profession. You see the whole US China trade war, for instance, that is taking place, right? And you see the Chinese are grandstanding because they're telling you this craftsmanship that we create in creating this product at a cheap cost, you can't get it better anywhere else. So first things first, why don't we work on our craftsmanship? Why don't we work on we perfecting what we have? Why don't you work on saying we want to create what's it called? I think back then we had is it technical schools, yeah? You had technical schools that focus on specific skills. Why don't we say we want to create technical schools? We want people have talked about university connectivity and Birikuts did a very good did a very good explanation of that. Why don't we say okay, we are creating like an industrial hub? We have so many industrial hub, right? In Nigeria, in Ogun State that I know of. Why don't we focus electricity production on those industrial hubs? Why don't you say in this industrial hub that you have here, we're going to ensure everybody within that industrial hub ensures gets 100% power supply? These are factors, these are things that prove that drives development. It's not just about we saying, oh, we need to employ, we need to do the all those factors, if they are put in place, will drive development. And when you drive development, you have more income because the companies can come in, can employ more people, they can pay more in taxes, and in turn, you can like divert more. This takes you out of poverty. So first things first, I would say any government or any governor or wherever that's coming into a state or something, like even if you check, I think the region that had the least number of students out of school is the southeast region. And I won't tell you whatever the southeast region that had students out of school, we're running into millions. And that's the least. That means that's the best performing region in education. Just put that in mind. Add millions of children out of school. So if we are going to keep having millions of children that are getting of age, that are not educated, that are not productive, that don't have a skill, you can't drive the economy. In 20, 50 years time, we're still going to come back to this same round table and have this same conversation. We don't have the skill, and the government is doing nothing to develop the skill. We don't have the infrastructure. The government is doing nothing to develop the infrastructure. So if those key factors are not sorted and our solutions are not provided around that, we're just going to be moving in circles, guys. Thank you. That's all I have to say.
Sorry, Mazi, sorry. Did I hear that the
I
Southeast
have,
has
I
the
have question
highest
now.
number of
I
out
have
of school
question now.
children, or maybe it's
No, 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 no. Southeast has the
oh the
lowest,
lowest?
and
Okay,
that
I thought you
lowest
said
is
the
running
highest. I
into
was like, okay,
millions. No, 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 no. He said that since we have the lowest and it's running 2 million, already a worry. That's already worrisome. So it's the best is running 2 millions. That's already worrisome. That's what he's saying, and he's
Yeah, I
actually
have like
correct
two
about
minutes.
that.
Dog, if you just want to ask a question, just go ahead, please.
Yeah, yeah. Before I go there, you said that you're going to speak for 3 minutes. You spoke for like 8 minutes. uh So that one. But then my question to you now is, you stated that Nigeria is infrastructure poor, intellectually poor, materially poor, leadership poor, everything poor. Don't you think that we are poor because we are lazy? Before you answer the question, I know you will tell me that it's government. Our government are not from Ouagadougou, they are not from Kampala, they are not from Nouakchott, they are not from Abidjan, they are not from Senegal. They are Nigerians. So
Okay, Dougie,
don't you think it's because
yeah,
we are poor?
I got the question. Let me just quickly answer because I have to quickly go. Yeah. Now we are not lazy, but we're poor. And I'll tell you, like I agree. You might not agree with it. We have poor leaders, and it's more or less. It happens to be that the worst amongst us gets a leadership position, right? So look at you have a Nigerian who would leave Nigeria and go to somewhere like Germany, where you are, or go to somewhere like the UK, or go to somewhere like United States, and you see them working around the clock. That Nigerian has not been fashioned, or it doesn't have the mindset of being lazy, but because the system around the place gives you opportunity to be able to maximize your potential, it gives you the opportunity to be able to do more. So therefore, when you have system in place, you are not limited. In Lagos, I'm living in let's say Ikorodu, for instance, because that's the best I could afford. Let's say I was in Lagos and I'm working on the island. I'm spending 3 hours just to get to my work. I'm spending 3 hours just to get back. I have wasted 6 to 7 hours of productive time in traveling. So therefore, I'm getting back where I'm mentally stressed. I cannot think of doing anything else that could add more value to myself or to the community. So therefore, whatever it is, we are a product of our environment. We are limited to the limitations within our environment. So therefore, we should first look at taking out those limitations first. And if Nigerians still continue to be lazy, then we can agree that we are lazy. But that limitation is still in place. We cannot agree that we're lazy because these same Nigerians leave this Nigeria and go to countries whereby those limitations don't exist and they excel. So therefore, the situation is in the limitation. Thank you. I have to go, guys.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank
I,
you.
I,
Thank
I
you.
don't, I'm not,
Sorry, can I speak now? Can I speak now?
I beg
I've
very,
been
very
raising
quickly.
my hand since.
Allah,
Eh?
your answer, I'm not even okay with your answer.
And Doggy, you have been
The
speaking
government
for
you are
more than 4 or
blaming
5
are
times.
from
I
Nigeria.
beg.
They are not from Cotonou. If we are poor because of all the things you said, then we are lazy. It means our government are lazy, and if our government are lazy, we are lazy. Because those governments are sourced from
No, no,
us.
no. Doggy,
I
you
beg.
can't transcribe it to that.
No,
You can't. You can't transcribe it.
I'll transcribe it to we are poor because
No,
Ghanaian
you
government
can't
is leading
transcribe it
us.
to that.
Yeah, now
No,
because
no, no,
Ghanaian
no, no,
government
no.
that's leading us are lazy. That is why we are lazy. That's why we are poor.
No, no, you can't say the government now. Oh, Doggy, come and be governor of
No,
Anambra
but
State.
he said that
Let's come and vote.
he said that we are leadership poor now. That's what he said now.
That's the honest truth. We are poor in
Yeah,
leadership. Is that a crime
because
to
we are
say?
lazy now. Lazy people are poor now. What are you
No
saying?
problem. Huh? Doggy, leave Germany, come be Anambra this state. Let's see.
Also, what
I will vote
what has
you.
leaving Germany got to do with it? What has
No,
leaving Germany?
now we
You're
are
not
told
even in
our
Nigeria.
government is
Every time we're going to make this nonsense argument, leave Germany.
Doggy.
Many people are
Come
sitting.
and that's why we need you now. You
Have you
cannot
left
just sit
Germany?
in one place
Have
and
you
be
left?
blaming the
Left
people.
UK?
Come and be a governor. Come and be the
Are you
president.
a
We
governor?
will vote you.
Are you a governor? Are you a governor?
Doggy, I am
We're
telling you
going to
my
make
problem. I said, come and vote. You
it
keep saying Nigerians. We
agreement
have
every
poor
time.
leadership.
Are you a governor? Are
Nigeria,
you
you
a
trusted.
governor?
If not, come and
You will be
enter and come and do
governor.
that.
You will be governor. You will be governor. Are
I
you a
not be governor.
governor?
I won't make you be governor. May you make life
Good.
easy for
I
us.
won't make you yourself be governor.
I don't want to be lazy
I
anymore,
want you to
Doggy.
work on.
Come and be governor. Every time you
You
come here and
yourself
be
be
talking
governor
what I
now.
don't understand.
About what
Doggy,
you want, what you
come and
understand. Are
be
you in
president.
Nigeria?
I will vote you. I will mobilize
You
masses.
yourself, I go
I
vote
will
for you.
vote you.
Are you
We don't
see
want to
that?
be lazy again.
This
We don't want to
is
be
this
poor again.
election. This is election. Now you can be go be president.
They
If I
tell you
look
say
to the
leadership
campaign
day
for you,
poor.
might know what
They tell you
happen.
say leadership
I
day
will
poor. I don't
campaign
know. I
for
don't
you.
understand how you understand your English. Whether you
He
go school,
said
I don't
something. He said
understand the
that
way
we
you
are
understand
poor
English.
now.
Okay. Okay. Are you this guy? Are you there? Confirm if you can speak. Yeah, you have been struggling with your network.
Can
Yeah.
you,
Okay.
can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
I just want to know that maybe if you can speak to know whether you have
Okay.
entered limbo
Yeah,
again.
I've been struggling a bit. But let me just say something. Doggy has been here all morning saying that Nigerians are poor. And he has advanced his reasons for saying Nigerians are poor. And people have come just like me to say, well, Nigerians are lazy. Sorry.
Is that poor? Is that
Say,
poor? I think he said lazy, right?
so I've come to say that I don't think Nigerians are lazy, or maybe they're not taking advantage of quite
He
a number
said
of
some, but
opportunities that
he
maybe.
said some. He refers it and says some. Some Nigerians are lazy.
Yeah, no, that's what we're saying. No, these are we're making. Usually we talk in hyperbole, so it's fine. I know he said some. So my point is that I think it's more or less of an argument of working smart and working hard, from other people's point of view to Dougie's point of view. So if Dougie argues and says it's because we are lazy, that is why we don't get certain things done, to an extent is right. And if people say, no, we're not lazy, we're hardworking, but maybe, we're not channeling that productivity in the right way, they're also correct. So I don't think anybody needs to point, but rather to forward debates and arguments to further their own position to make us understand it.
Do we have lazy government? Our leaders
Of
lazy.
course, we have lazy leaderships. We
If
have
any of
lazy leadership.
you argue with me again here now, how has to break that person's head? If we have lazy leaders, is that not validating what I'm saying? Or those leaders are there from the
No,
moon?
Doggy, you don't. Okay, Doggy, I don't know how you analyze
Those
this.
leaders are there
I
from China.
struggle
They're
to
not
think how your
Nigerians.
brain works.
If we have
I'm trying to think how your
it
brain
is
works.
easy to say that we
We
have
have
lazy
lazy
leaders.
people.
Can
Because now
other
it's going
people
to leaders, now
please?
it's lazy.
Can
Although
because
we
other
are
because
people
lazy.
because
please?
Doggy
We
because
are lazy,
Doggy
we are
because
lazy.
because Doggy
Now,
Can
is you
other
saying
those
that
people
a
leaders are
useless
please?
Nigerian
father
leaders. They are Nigerian
has the
leaders.
tendency of
No,
having
not a
wait now.
here.
It's
They
Can
are
like
other
you
Nigerian
saying
leaders.
people
Our
because
leaders are
please?
lazy, we are
waiting
lazy.
now. It's like you seeing the
Come on,
children of a
Papa.
useless father and
Can
say because your
other
father is
people
useless, then the
please?
children are useless.
Can
Is that
other
how you
people
reason?
speak, please?
Now,
Can
now,
other
now
That's
it's
a
people
going
very
to
wrong
speak?
way
now,
of
now it's
thinking.
going to leadership. Now we are lazy.
We are telling you that Ijaw people have gotten into leadership and they are lazy. So I agree with you that we have lazy government, but it's not a reflection of the people because they've not been able to skew the sheep in a way the people will sit up and do the right thing.
What needs is reflection of the people. Now our people that they elect into
Every
that
time,
offices.
every time you go come here, they
Now our people
confabulate
that they
everything
elect
where
into
people they
those
talk.
offices. Not be Cameroonians that they elect into
You
those
win,
offices.
doggy.
Not be
Next president
Chadians.
of Nigeria,
Not be
come, we will vote you.
Nigerians. Not be
We don't want to be lazy again.
not be
Okay, we
Senegalese.
don't want lazy
Not
again.
be
We don't want
One minute,
lazy
one
again.
minute, guys.
We don't want
Nigeria elect into
Tinubu.
those places.
Come and be
We are lazy.
president. Come
Doggy,
and be
I have a
president.
question. Charlie,
Can
wait. I
other
If
have
we
a
have
people
lazy
Let's
question.
move
leaders
the
and we
can
are
let's move
other
the
lazy,
mic. Let's
people
move
oh
the mic.
hi.
please?
Let's move the mic to truth. I beg, I dey beg you. Dogi has a point there because if you come up and say that our leaders are lazy, our leaders are a reflection of the people that we have on the street. Our leaders are lazy because few months ago, some of the leaders that we elected today are ordinary citizens like us. Not just because they have money, or but many of them do not even have money like what we think they are, right? So they are ordinary citizens like us. So if we are saying that they are very lazy, then some Nigerians are lazy, like what Doggy said, and some Americans are very lazy. Cannot find cannot go in any country and say you will not find lazy people. So let's have truth. Truth, please go ahead and speak.
Masi, can I go after truth? I beg. I don't dare here
Yeah, you
since
will go. All right, you will
this
go
is
after
about.
truth. Yeah.
All right, thank you guys very much. Thank you. I really appreciate this conversation, and it's very productive, and I'm very happy that we're having this kind of fora to talk. Now, for me, yeah, I've listened to everybody. I've listened to Doggy, and I can tell you quite a lot. I agree with him to a very large extent. You understand? I think our major problem, we need reorientation. Do you understand? We need reorientation. I mean, and I don't know if our generation is wasted right now. I don't know, but I think we need to start this thing from the primary, maybe the basic schools, the nursery, primary level. Do you understand? To reorientate our mind, because I think that's where the major problem is. It is now. I don't know if our own generation can be revived. I don't know. We need a lot of reorientation, and that's where the problem is. Nigerians should be taught patriotism, entrepreneurship, and from the youth level. Just like what China is doing and all those things. They are, what is in their curriculum and all that. Patriotism, how to these are some of the issues we're having. Now, I'm not talking about whether we are poor or lazy. I want to believe Nigerians are not lazy. Maybe we are poor in mind. We are poor in mind. A lot of people, anytime I hear government, I get angry. Honestly, I get angry. Do you get? Because you see, government is not basically, to a large extent, is the reason why we find ourselves where we are today. Do you understand? But is the quickest excuse. Once somebody say, "Oh, it's government," then that is it. No, we as ourselves, how creative are we? Let me give you an instance. I needed a business intelligence person to do something for me at work in a specific way. I find it difficult to see a Nigerian that can help me. Do you understand? To do it, eventually I had to get somebody online who is an Ethiopian, a very young guy that was able to do what exactly I want. You understand? And somebody said, do we have data? Do we have this? But we have data to be doing all this content, open yash on the content and all those things. Is it not data they are using? You understand? The first time I went into TikTok, when you see a lot of things people post on TikTok, and I find out that, there's somewhere we have on TikTok where they call STEM, which talk about science and all those things. I went through those terms. I find it difficult to see one Nigerian in that sphere. Do you understand what I'm saying? So those are the issues. I just want to be giving you practical examples, and because when Dougie said we need to patronize our own and all that, and we are not doing that. I went to UK for vacation, and my friend was telling me that the duvet, she's importing duvet from Nigeria to sell in the UK, that the duvet they are doing, where is getting it, I think he was getting it from Alaba, in Aba or somewhere, it's actually better because I went to buy duvet. I wanted to bring duvet down to this place. And so many other things like that. You understand? But we don't patronize these people and all those things. Yes, government can play some very key roles. And I think we've been at point zero. We have been at point zero before now. You understand? Every indices of how Nigerian government should run their affairs was not really, in a way that encourage production. You understand? A situation where you subsidize this, you subsidize that, you subsidize this. It's a problem on its own. Do you understand? Somebody is talking about, can we get loan and all those things? We have consumer credit, we have Bank of Industry and all those things. Do you understand? And it's not as if we cannot get it, but to access it is a problem. Maybe you don't have the requirement to even access some of these loans to do what you are doing. And some people don't even have an idea per se. Do you understand? Say, okay, this is what we want to do. I don't know why we'll be complaining that we have people studying electronic in schools. We have people studying so many courses. We have people that read agriculture, and we are importing food. Let me give you a very quick example, a very quick one that we are not looking at. For example, we have been shouting there is inflation in this country, transport inflation and food inflation. These are the two basic things that we've been shouting on, right? Now, when we say maybe a government now, for example, in a city, you cannot have more than 10 long roads. I mean, roads that are long. If each government, maybe state government in every state, you understand, has at least 10 massive mass transit bus, for example, in a city, you have a 10 long road, that's 10 times 10, 100 mass transit bus. You understand? They can afford to subsidize it for people. You will see that transport inflation will crash. The same thing, agricultural produce, which is what the rural area, the farmers, they need. So if they are guaranteed that their crops from the farm can get to the same city we are talking about, without getting spoiled and all those things, it will be a win-win situation for everybody. But is our governor doing this? The answer is no. And why are they not doing it? Because Nigerians themselves, that's why somebody say we are poor in mind. Nigerians themselves don't even know the roles of all these, agencies, all these government, everything, as long as you can blame the president, you are fine. That's okay. Do you understand? They don't know the role. I was asking somebody what's the difference between concurrent list and exclusive list. He does not even know what I'm talking about. So those are the issues. So it shows that we have poor in mind. Our educational system, I don't know whether something is wrong with it. I don't even know how to explain it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So the kind of content you see, and let me finally say this, and what influenced some of these things really is basically because, get this wet, quick syndrome. You understand? We believe everything can be done fastly, just get this thing. And the kind of things we see. Somebody talks, say, money day Nigeria, when they see Cubana, this Cubana birthday that happened. You understand? So that person used that to define that there's money in Nigeria. No, even that event that you see is not an evidence of, saying money day Nigeria. It's a class thing. And when people see all those things, they become, how do I put it now? They look up to them. And they think so, they want to be like them. They want to get this thing easily. I mean, some people are spending pounds. They are spending pounds and all those things. So you see, those are the things we are talking about. It doesn't necessarily mean that, and this is what people look up to. And that's not the way this thing is supposed to be. So when you have a society that is faulty, is based on inferiority and, somebody wants to be superior and all that, we cannot get it right. So let us start to be, we are not creative enough. That is the problem. There is nothing that you cannot
So
find in Nigeria.
can I ask you a question, please?
Yes, go ahead.
If there's a total breakdown in your family, who will be held responsible?
If there is a total breakdown in my family, yes, the person that, maybe my dad will be held responsible,
Who?
yeah?
No, I mean you now, your direct family. Who will be held
Yeah,
responsible?
I will, to a large extent.
So that's fine. That's one. No, that's one. And in everything you said, you always come back to the government.
Mm-hmm.
Fine is a reflection of these people. Is it possible to take juveniles who commit crime to a correctional facility and they begin to reshape their mentality? Who does that reshaping of the mentality in that juvenile home? So you have kids who are committing crime in streets and you want to change their mentality. You take them to a facility. Who will help in reorienting to reorient those kids to get better?
The institution we have, do you understand?
Fantastic.
We do that.
The what? The institution
Please,
we have.
wait.
So what it means, what it means, no, what I'm trying to come is,
okay.
So what it means is somebody needs to be a driving force in this reorientation, in this mind shift of the typical Nigeria where we've gotten. So now when you will now fall back to all these things we are saying, it still goes back to something.
You are not listening
Somebody
to me.
needs to be responsible.
You are not listening to me. If you have listened to me, I have told you that we need reorientation. Do you understand? I told you that our own generation may be lost because of the kind
so
of.
Who is supposed to drive that reorientation?
Listen now. Listen, bro. Listen. And I told you that our own level might have been lost. You understand? But yeah, I agree with you that government needs to start doing something at the basic level, the primary and the secondary. You understand? That's where the problem lies. But you see, when we are also in a forum like this, we should not be sentimental. We should not be emotional. We should be able to break down issues. Do you understand? I mean, I told you now, majority of what Dougie is saying, you understand? I agree with it. How many intellectual conversations like this you see online? What you see is all content, influencer telling you this person is bad. That's what you see. I have not. In fact, this is the first time that I'm coming across an engagement like this that is very constructive. You hardly see things like this. People learn. Do you understand? That's what I'm saying. You go to TikTok, you go to all this content, you go to influencer. These are the people that mold the thinking of an average Nigerians because they have missed it from the beginning. And government has a role to play. I'm not doubting that. I'm not blaming, I'm not saying that government does not have a role, but we as people, we also have a role to play, in all these things. Fora like this can also help. You have a bloggers, you have influencers. I don't want to mention names. I don't want to, you see, what is out there that influence people is pure rubbish. Do you
Yeah,
understand?
so truth,
And I
like I asked finally.
that. Do you know?
Sorry,
Do you know
let
the
me ask him. So
government?
truth, I asked
Sorry,
finally.
one second. Do you know the
Sorry, I
government
asked finally.
has a
Sorry, the
backing?
press. Sorry,
can
good.
you hold
Sorry,
on?
good. GAT go. So let me ask truth, and I asked finally. My own is I don't like putting two blames, so I don't get confused. You cannot keep your children at home to tell the world that you're Olodo if you have not sent them to school. It is only when you send them to school and they didn't do well, you can now wake up to say, these children will get Olodo. In this whole conversation, who should take more of the brunt of this present situation concerning this topic today? That's my own, no matter who's to be blamed.
Okay.
Now, where the major pressure
let me answer your question.
So who do you think will take the majority of the blame?
You've asked the question. Let me answer you straight up like this. Do you understand? The situation still comes back to government, and the government.
Simple. That's what
I want to know. Gosh.
No. You've answered my question, and that's why I went for calling people.
Wait. It go back to the government, but the government is the reflection of the people. Are you following me? The government is the reflection of the people. Do you understand?
Is it the one that the people chose or the one that found themselves there?
Who told you they were not choosing? What is your evidence?
That's what I'm asking. Is it the one that the people chose? So now, truth. I want to ask a question. Now that me and you are talking about this, is it that I want to be lazy?
Wait.
Is it that 200 million people want to be lazy? Except they want to be, then I can agree with you.
Now, that's a different topic. This one that you are saying, that whether they were choosing by the people or not, is a different topic. When you want us to go into, when Mazi want to go into that topic, we will debate it. And I will let you know that.
So that's fine. So what you're trying to say, 200 million people agreed to be lazy now. So we chose to be lazy.
You see, let me tell you something. You understand? All I'm saying that we as people, we have a role to play. Even to influence government decisions and all that. That's the point I'm making. We have role to play as people. Are we passing the right information to the government? How many people have called out their governors? How many people have called out their local government chairman in everything they are doing? You know, we talk about basic primary school now, the primary, secondary. These are complete responsibility of the state government. How many people even see to that? How many people, you talk about electricity. Do you know that even electricity you are talking about is already in concurrent list as we speak? How many people are taking time to call those people out? Instead of us doing that, we play ethnicity, we play all kind of politics around these things. We don't actually want result. You just want you just want the person that probably you are supporting to be in power. So that will not solve the problem. And you see, that's why I say our own generation is lost. That's what I mean by our own generation is lost.
Sorry, Mr.
Because
Truth, can I ask you a very simple question?
Wait, sorry, Mazi, I'm meant to go. Because,
how are you meant to go, my guy? You just unmuted your mouth, and how are you meant to go? I literally said I wanted to ask
P
a
was
question.
saying something that the government, and I can tell you, the government knows everything that's going on.
Over me. I literally said I wanted to ask him a question before.
Wait, now the press. Let's Grace go then.
So sorry, Charlie P was saying, I can tell you, the government has back channel access, to all the blogs. Don't even get deceived. The federal government of Nigeria, if it's Insta blog, all of them, they have back access channel to say to them, look, if it's buy Nigeria policy, keep posting about this, and they will keep doing it continuously. The citizens themselves do not drive change or policy. It is the government. That is why you're there. You're paid, and you're paid well. You're paid above minimum wage. So you should put your thinking hats on and start calling or creating solutions. In the 50s and the 60s, I saw the picture. I was flabbergasted. The solution was not importing. It was not about making pure water. When Nigerians used to drink water from the well, I saw a picture. I could not believe it. Government officials were going to those wells and testing the content of that water to ensure it was drinkable for the masses. Before they say, look,
bro, I drank well. Sorry for interrupting you. I drank well water in Abuja.
That was
good. I disagree with you. Citizens drive change. Citizens can drive change. If you want us to go into this debate, because you see, you are having a narrow perspective how government activities work. That's my problem with the way you are looking at this issue. Citizens drive change, and that's why when
Sorry. No. There is no country in the world that wants to develop that government will not be the first people to start.
The government
Please, let's speak one after the other. A lot of us.
Who is placed in the government sector? Your government there?
Let me explain
it to you. Government there? I beg, make una rest, I beg.
I don't
During
understand. I don't understand the doggy. Doggy, what are you saying,
the
doggies?
entertainment sector in Nigeria was government there. Didn't the citizens just influence it and change it and make it work?
All
So
right,
now,
okay,
so now,
Doggy,
now,
let
now,
me tell you
now,
why
yeah.
I would
So
say
what is
Now,
happening is what
argument
you call success.
that
We're very
argument
funny
is
people, though.
flawed because the
What
Very
what
flawed,
flaws it?
very
entertainment
flawed.
industry
What flaws
in
it? I beg,
Nigeria.
make me understand what flaws it.
Okay, I'll tell you why.
Can
I'll
I
tell you
ask
why it
my
Can
is
we
very, very
can we
question?
flawed.
discuss how
Yeah.
citizens can drive
Can I
change?
ask
Can we
my
discuss it?
I
question?
beg,
Can I
Good.
ask
I
my
agree with you. Citizen
question?
can drive change.
sorry, there is too much mic, right? On. But there is no
Mazi,
country
I
in the world.
wanted to
Wait,
ask a
now,
question.
there's no country in the world that can develop without the influence of the government. Let's tell ourselves, let's not lie to ourselves. Governments all over the world drive change. They are the ones to start it. If you leave it in the hands of ordinary citizens, they will mess it up. They will influence change through their policies, how they govern Nigeria. See, we cannot, let us not try and be shading these people. Yes, I agree with some of the things Truth said here. Government is the reflection of the people we have on the street. Because just a few months ago, we have ordinary citizens now in government. But that does not mean that they cannot drive change if they want to. You know what it means? The Constitution of Nigeria backs them up. They can do anything. See, President Tinubu is the one of the most powerful presidents in Africa, if not for the world. I'm telling you, in terms of the kind of the way our constitution backs him up. So they can drive change if they want to. They can. They can. They can influence it if they want to. There's nothing in this country they cannot do if they want to do it. They can. They can. They have the money, they have the power, they have the influence. They have it. They can do that if they want to do it. It's not too hard. And there's no country in the world that can develop with that steady power electricity. Though. I'm not serious. Are you saying that I should be the one now generating my power? Let them do the basic need of the common people, and you see a country develop. Basic need. What are we asking for? Is it too much for them to do? It's not too much. Let us not be giving them excuses that entertainment industry is government there. I can tell you this current if this government that we are seeing in Nigeria put their hands in that entertainment industry, 2 years that industry will go down like others. I'm telling you the honest truth. That industry will go down like others. The only industry we have that is at least having a lot of breathing of air is this entertainment industry. Let government enter there now. Within 1 year now, the industry will go down, collapse.
Sorry,
Truthfully to
Mazi,
round up.
why I was
Are
So
you
so
not
what was
validating
the
my point?
Sorry, can I
Doggy,
ask
Are
Doggy,
you
hold
not
on now,
validating
hold
my
on
point that
now.
when
all right,
government
okay,
enter
You
Doggy,
inside they
Doggy,
scatter?
I was the
Then
one
you're validating
speaking.
my point that
all
I
right,
was
citizens
the one
okay,
influence
speaking
the
Doggy,
before
change.
now.
Doggy,
Oh
my
God.
point being that
You
the
are validating my
entertainment
point for
God,
crying out
can
industry.
loud.
other
You
people
don't validate my
speak?
point.
Yeah, wait,
Jesus,
It
Doggy,
is
God,
my
citizens driven change, not
because
It's
government.
me.
because Doggy,
It's me.
Doggy,
They were
because it was
asking
What are
a
this
you
question.
saying?
very
Why
can
not
liberal
allow me to
can we
industry.
respond?
ask truth
When the
questions,
entertainment
please?
industry in Nigeria was going on, like at the
God, you
very early
wanted to ask a
stage, the
question
government
now.
did
You
not
have
do
done asking
anything
your
about
question. You're making a
piracy.
submission right now, Goat. Goat, you're making a submission, not a question.
They
You
asked me
want
No,
a
to
no, I'm
ask
just
question
a
and you
ask
are
a
not allowing
question.
me to
what Doggy
answer.
said because Doggy said
You don't
that
need
I
to respond to
Let's
mentioned
go one
Doggy.
after the
Doggy
other
was
now.
not
You are
the
going to
last
ask your
speaker.
question. You are going to ask your question. Let's go one after the other now. Good, please go ahead.
But
okay,
Goat is
let me
not
I'll
asking a
be
Yeah,
question.
very,
the
He's
very
best.
making
Hold
a
quick.
on,
I'll
hold
be
on.
very
submission.
quick, no more than 2 minutes. So Doggy, when I was in the entertainment industry, it was very liberal. It was very open. The government had no stake. When they were crying about piracy, the Nigerian government did not give two shits about it. So what the people did, which was the performing artists back then, they took matters in their own hands. There was not a lot of red tapes. When they could not shoot good quality music videos, they traveled abroad to South Africa to start shooting their own music. What they did was, in terms of piracy, if you watch closely, they now handed over publishing rights to international, entity like Sony and the rest. Even Fela catalog that he refused to sell, he later handed it over to foreign entities to manage. You understand? So they took matters into their own hands. But I'm telling you, for like the, let's say, oil and gas industry, which has a lot of red tapes, okay, maybe it's failing. You cannot just go to Hiala, your local government, say you want to drill one oil well and then start, you understand, refining crude oil. It's not possible. You understand? So it was a very liberal, industrial sector. Is one of a few glitch. And I keep saying that at least one industry that the Nigerian government has built from scratch, to the very top, that is functionally well, there is not one single one. But the entertainment industry is a glitch. And if you still look back, like
You are
Bonaboy
still
was saying,
validating my point. You are still making my point. The government did not invest Shengbai into entertainment. It means it is citizen driven. And you
Mazi,
are saying
what
the
is
citizen
going
cannot
on here,
influence.
Mazi?
What are you saying? Uh,
Mazi, what are we doing
you are
here,
shooting
bro?
yourself on your leg and you don't even know that you're shooting yourself in your leg. Now
Doggy,
your leg
doggy is
don't
a
scatter. You don't
different
scatter
thing,
your
man. Like
leg.
he's saying.
You don't destroy your leg. You cannot
No,
even
you
walk
they
again.
talk the same thing.
dog is the same thing. I'm
Hmm?
just telling you, it's the same thing, but it
It's
was
not the
possible
same
because there
thing.
That
was
I'm
less
telling
red
you that
tapes
there are
in
things
that
that the
industry.
citizen can influence. The citizen can
Your
influence change
entertainment
without government.
industry,
Tell me
the
when I
entertainment
right.
industry you are
And
clapping
you're
for
pointing
today.
out
If
one.
not the YouTube and Facebook, will they be making money? If not traveling abroad to go and be
But
holding,
government
will they
was
be
not
making money?
there. Government hand was not there. It is citizen driven.
Doggy,
And
doggy,
you're
doggy,
saying there's
doggy.
nothing citizen
My
can
problem with the
influence.
way you think is you just is a one way directional thinking, and
And
it's
you
very
don't even
flawed.
think at
Mazi,
all. That is the thing. You
can
don't
other
you
people
yourself
ask
don't
me
even
one
think at all.
question?
This thing. Wait now, it's not
You
about
have a
shouting like a
myopic
madman. It's not about shouting like someone that no,
bias
he's
mindset.
almost struggling with
That when you
BP.
just look
He
straight,
has
you're
asked
looking
you
straight.
again.
That is your issue.
Within the
That is
country,
your
how many of them
problem.
can boast that the money they are making is from the concept of within the scope of the policy of the country? A lot of them are on YouTube shooting videos. Where's the money coming
Even
from?
Charlie P, Netflix
Is
came.
it government
Netflix has
driven or
red
citizen
I
driven?
beg you, don't they come government. See,
Netflix
You
red
that's
don't
your
know what
problem.
you're saying. You're talking
If you
rubbish.
want to shout,
Gentlemen, both of you are saying the same thing now. Charlie P, you are saying that government has no intervention there. He's also saying that it's not government driven. What's the point of argument there if you're both saying the same thing? But I think you guys should listen to yourself so that you can have like a very decent debate. One person will talk, the other person will respond, then the other person will ask the question, then we can hear what you guys are saying. Now we don't even know what you guys are saying, other than from my point of view, you guys are saying the same thing. So, Doggy, let Charlie P rest his submission, then you can counter or have what you want to say.
Just
Ayo, Goat has said, Doggy said it's not government related. We agree. But that's entertainment. And like God called it, a glitch. The question is, what about all the things that revolve that government should cause that change for productivity to happen? And it's not working. Must everybody start singing and doing entertainment? So that thing is flawed. And that's what I'm saying. We are talking about agriculture here today. We are talking about insecurity today. We are talking about, like True talked about the credit scheme and everything. What are the parameters? Can I wake up one morning? Ayo, you're there abroad. You can just wake up your credit score. You can request for 10,000 loan with your phone from your home. You go enter.
I am in Nigeria. I'm in Nigeria.
Yeah, in Ajangbadi, no problem. Okay, ask those way there abroad. Just your credit score. They just do a verification check at your home. You don't need to appear to start sending your mother's details or your death certificates. There are other things that government will influence for the productivity to happen. It's not happening in entertainment. I can use that as a yardstick. Who are the private people that are going to cause it? And like God asked now, Doggy has oil in his state called Anambra. Can he go there and start drilling oil now?
Or setting up
Can
modular
you?
refinery. If it's not the Navy, will come pay you a visit the next night.
Oh, well, you know what we're talking about. So there are a lot of
can we
things
ask
that
questions?
we need that shift. That we need to change this. Amazi talked about something. Nigeria is blacklisted in so many international, even in research spaces. People need to start buying accounts from abroad for them to have access to be creative. Like Truth has said that we need to be creative, which I agree. But there's a lot of global information. Ayo, with your Nigeria internet, PayPal, you cannot pay out money, you cannot receive money. PayPal, a lot
There are
of
limits.
you cannot do a lot of
Pay
stuff.
that money, sir. There are limits you cannot even receive.
There are things you cannot do. Look at Matthew just said Facebook. Do you know a lot of these Facebook content creators open account now? People they have them manage them for abroad, which is even ripping them off. But today Facebook has said, okay, from Nigeria directly you can get this. The same thing with all these things, and we are talking. And some people will be making look as if I
Even
agree
Charlie
a
P, let me
reflection
give
of
you
the
an
people.
example where the private where,
You
where,
know,
where
a
the
lot
private
of
Wait,
example
sector.
that the
Jesus
government needs to
Christ.
influence
if
that
you
change,
guys
like
would
Can
like
Mazi
to,
said,
other
if you guys would
influence
people
the
like Doggy
change.
speak?
report
Charlie
to
P, I'll give
let
you an
Doggy report.
example
Can
where
other
Nigerians have
people
actually
speak?
tried, but the
Can
federal government
other
is letting
people
them down.
speak?
So you see,
Can
tourism,
other
what Tayo
people
Aina
speak?
has
Can
singularly done,
other
no
people
government
speak?
minister
This is
has
the
been able to
reason
do
where they
that since
say
1960,
Nigerian people are the problem.
promoting Nigerian tourism.
Can other people speak? We cannot have the same people
Now,
speaking. Can
they
other
said
people
I should
speak?
report. Charlie P, really good, correct, go. Now, the thing here,
Oh yeah, wait. Let's structure the house. Doggy, you give your rebuttal, then we can move to the next person. I don't know who the next person is.
Oba. Oba is
Mazi,
the next person.
you let
Oba
us
is the
go.
next
But
person.
let's
Oba is the next person.
I
No,
let
Ayo, you
am next.
allow truth never land, or truth never land.
Why is next? I'm next. After truth, I'm next.
okay, just let Doggy have his rebuttal, then we can move the mic. Doggy, your rebuttal.
what I'm seeing here, what I'm seeing here is argument of you say, oh, it's doggy that is saying it can never be true, but it's because doggy is saying it. You keep on validating my point. You said that there's nothing the citizen can influence or can change. And you mentioned music industry, and I told you music industry, the citizens did it without government input. You said yes, and you're still arguing me. Now you went on to talk about many things. Now let me remind you, the aerospace in Nigeria, Nigerian government could not manage it. It went ground until the likes of APs and otherwise came. They are not doing it. It's citizen driven. You talk about this your oil that you're talking about. All the while, government could not do it
Which
until they
peace
share.
management? Which air management? I
Charlie P,
mean, don't come and
Charlie
be
P,
telling us
allow
what
him
you
to
don't know,
land
because
now. Charlie P,
Doggy
allow
did
him
not
to land
don't come and tell us
interject
again.
you.
what you don't
Charlie
know.
P,
What
Doggy
is
did not
air
interject
Charlie
you.
P,
management?
allow him to land.
Charlie
He kept
P,
quiet when you're speaking.
let him
Let him
land.
land. I beg. He's just a
Doggy
talk.
did not interject.
You like arguing with yourself. That is it. Your time not they learn. Even if I'm talking rubbish, let me talk my rubbish. I listen to you. You talk your rubbish. Me, I talk my own rubbish. APs is are they not managing their flights? Or asking which APs? If APs not functioning as we're talking, since Nigerian Airways cannot function, if APs is not functioning, what are we saying here? The oil sector they are talking about. Until Buhari shared licenses to people to start what's it called what is it called again to purify fuel? What is it called? Somebody help me again. I beg. English don't
If we
close.
help you now, you say we're entitled to
Refining
services
oil,
and you
Refinery,
can't.
refining
Refining.
oil refinery.
Thank you. Thank you. Now we have
Gasco,
what
yeah, Gasco. They came more house.
when did we now? Thank you, Oye Nkuzi, Professor Udochi. What is his name? Water Smith is there in Imo State. Edo State government have their own. Dangote is there now. Bua is building. Other people are building. It is citizen driven. Many of the things government have done, they're not succeeding. The citizen, when they go into it, they succeed. There are things, the citizen can actually influence a change on. There are the EV, electric vehicle you're talking about in USA. Yes, at the end of the day, government helped with their incentives and their sponsorship to make it what it is today. But until Elon Musk went into it and invested heavily into it, which actually brought that change, that revolution, what we're talking about today. He's not the first person to venture into electric vehicle. He is not. But he revolutionized it until the government then came inside. So yes, there are things that the citizen can influence actually. It's not everything. Oh, somebody don't they come in and not understand this kind of wahala now.
Doggy,
Okay,
go
thank
pursue
you.
money more move ahead.
So let's have Oba, please
Ayo,
go ahead.
Mazi, Mona move ahead.
Just,
Oba,
just
please
let
go
the
ahead.
next person go ahead, Mazi.
Okay,
Yeah, Oba, are you
okay,
there?
thank you very
Yes,
much.
I'm
I'm
here.
the
I'm
next
here.
person,
I'm here.
though. I've not finished my
Who's
submission
that?
before.
Okay, go on. Sorry, go on.
Okay,
Mazi, truth was
Okay, you
speaking
have
before.
30
He was
seconds.
about to round
Truth,
up.
you have 30
oh,
seconds. 30 seconds, truth.
okay,
Yeah.
fine. If I have 30 seconds, let me just say this. I think Mazi and Ayo, you can help us because when Doggy said, this thing can be driven by citizens. Citizens can driven change. You understand? I think the question you should be asking us, the host, is that how? Maybe how, so that people can learn from it because I don't have much I don't have time to talk now, so I can't say anything. So if the question is, citizens can drive change, ask us, let the topic be how. So then we can now begin to discuss it. Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you
thank
very much. I have so much to say in that aspect, especially whether government intervenes in policy and all that. But I just don't want to hog the mic because quite a number. I want the house to, the hands to, to reduce. Then we can circle back to those things. Next person, please.
Uber, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you.
Is Uber the next person or me?
I'm the next.
Oh, mute your mic. You're just coming up. He say you. Your mic. You're just coming up. He first the press day here. It's not the word on himself. He first Kingsley day here. The first Polonium day here. Till the talk. So please go ahead, Uber.
Yeah, thank you. So the way I see it, I think it's private. I think it's the citizens that drive the change. What I think government should do or does is they regulate, so they like enforce the rules of the game. It's like government. If I use football as an example, like government is like the referee. While we are like the Ronaldo, Messi, that has to, we have to run around, shoot ball, shoot the goal in the post, like do the main work. But government should just be there to, at least make sure that the rules are fair. That's what government usually does. For example, right, if you use the US, right, because a lot of people talk about China, but if you look at China, even China had to use the power of like private people, right? Like China had to open a lot of free trade zones, where you have Apple, you have all these foreign companies. They come in, they put their branches there, they employ labor, and then they're able to manufacture goods and services, right, to serve the Chinese market and to also do like what they call knowledge transfer, right? That's how China was able to, even build their own local capacity. It's from companies like Tesla. From there, you get knowledge transfer, and then you can build your own Tesla, like BYD, etc. So you can't just put all the whole responsibility on government and expect any change to happen. I think that's the problem we have here. Like we want government to do everything, and because we want them to do everything, they end up doing nothing because they have too much tasks to handle. Imagine you were a father and you had like 10 children and you're trying to sort out your 10 children, and then the whole street where you're living in with like 200 children, they say, okay, you should take care of the whole 200 children. You wouldn't be able to take care of even your 10 children. So you end up not taking care of anybody. So that's our problem here, right? We should be focusing on how to employ the government to, in things like tariffs, right? That's here. How do we pressure the government or elect people that are economically sound to know when to remove tariffs, to know when to put tariffs, to know when to augment tariffs, right? To know when tariffs are affecting businesses here and how to direct those things. That's what we should be focusing on, because that will empower us to build our businesses, make more money, and employ more Nigerians, right? Employ ourselves, so we don't need to be crying to government every day for peanut jobs that don't even pay anything, jobs that pay you minimum wage, piece poor jobs. Like, why can't we employ ourselves and pay ourselves? Why do we have to wait for the government to pay us peanuts or like give us slave wage, right? So that's the problem. And it's just the way I see it. Another example would be say even in the power, because I heard many people made the example of like, okay, government should give us electricity. Nigerians, we need to learn, or we need to at least change our mind on how much we pay for things. Right? Like if you are buying an iPhone, for example, when you go to an Apple store or you go to slot or wherever, you wouldn't argue with them. They tell you that an iPhone costs this and this and this. You bring your ATM, you count your money, you pay for your iPhone, you go home happy, right? If you want to go and buy second hand, but still you expect it to be a certain price. But when it comes to like things we need, fundamental things we need, like power, for some reason we don't want to pay a reasonable price to get the power, right? And what you have is very little investment in the sector, because basically like they are running in so much debt, they are barely making any money, and they are still trying to service us, quote unquote, who happen to be their customers. So it's going to be very difficult for them to improve existing infrastructure. Okay, they wouldn't be able to improve make better power lines, erect, like they won't be able to do all those things that we need to increase the power and supply us and get us to that 24/7 power supply, because the pricing is just messed up. We are not paying for our electricity, and we are still expecting it, right? And even
Sorry, can I ask you a
even in the
question?
same, just
Let
one second.
him land. We can ask him, Chelipi. Let him land. Me, I have a question for him. Yeah.
Yeah. So even in the same power, right? I feel like the government is even a bigger stumbling block, and we need to even kick them out completely. Because if you look at our biggest problem, it goes with like transmission, right? And that's where the government owns. Generation was privatized, right? I think distribution was privatized. The whole ECADEC, all those Ibadan electricity distribution company, etc. They are privatized, right? But then the people that
Sorry,
transmit
sorry. If you look at power, for example,
can
that your example is
I
wrong.
just land? Can I just land? Can I
The
just land?
problem
Can I
of
just land?
power is not
Can I just
the
land? Can I
problem of
just
power
land?
is
Let him
not
land.
generation.
You people have a
Can I
question.
can I
You people have a time
can I
for
just land?
Mr.
Yeah. So on the transmission, I think that's where we have our big issue, and that's where the government owns. Because most people will say,
No,
"Oh,
government does not own transmission.
can I just talk?
Government does not
Can
own transmission.
I just
Government
talk?
owns
Can
generation.
I just talk? Can I just talk? The TCN, Transmission Company of Nigeria, is government owned. But you correct me? Don't worry, let me just make my point. You correct me. So, because people make the case of, oh, like they privatized it. Why are we not seeing improvement in power? Blah blah blah. Was it a wrong decision? It wasn't a wrong decision. If you actually look at why we have a big reason why we have issues in power, which is transmission, that wasn't privatized. That part of the supply chain is still government owned. If there's a reason why our national grid is always collapsing. That's the issue with transmission, and that's what the grid does. The grid is to take the power from people that generate and then make sure it gets to the discos. That grid never ever works because it's government owned. If we had people like us, regular Nigerians, right, 200 million Nigerians, if we had a Dangote, if we had an Otedola, if we had an Adenuga, if we had any fucking Nigerian that knows what they are doing, handling the national grid, that grid would hardly ever crash because they will be able to price fairly, price reasonably. They'll be able to know how to bring the best people to hire to take care of the grid. They'll be able to expand the grid, right? Look at Dangote Refinery. He built a refinery and the refinery is working. How many times have you heard Dangote coming out to come and complain? Oh, we have this one. Oh, this one collapsed. Oh, that. No, it's not happening with Dangote because he's a private individual that knows how to run his business. That's what we need more of that in Nigeria. We need to have us Nigerians handling our affairs, running our affairs. You can't be having a government that does not know what they are doing, and you want them to run power that you say you need so much, and you think they will run it well for you. And then even when they now say, okay, pay a certain amount, you start to cry, you start complaining, oh, it's too expensive, it's too this, it's too that. But if you have a shop and you are selling goods and services in your shop, and I come to your shop to buy something, you wouldn't tell me, oh, you know what, just bring the money you have in your pocket and pay what you can pay. You will tell me that. You tell me that if I cannot afford what's in your shop, I should go somewhere else. Or you tell me, no, it's not that price. And I have no option. I have to leave your shop. But when it comes to other things that we know we need, we don't want to pay the fair price. We want them to either give us, I don't know that meant, is that we want them to give us for free, or we want them to give us for a price that is so low that whole industry will collapse if they do it for long enough. These are to me, these are like, I don't even think our issue is laziness or is with the poverty, whatever. I think it's with that mindset of always expecting things to come, like when it's from our end, we want it to come either free or we want it to come we want people to give us things at a loss. But if it's our own business, all of a sudden we now understand that losses are not good and things don't come free, right? You want to sell at a profit, but other people should suffer for you. That's what's making us poor. It's making us not to have light, making us not to have different things. Dangote has never needed the national grid. Since he generates his own power by himself, he sources it and he powers his companies and he makes his money and he moves on with his life. In fact, most Nigerian industries now, they don't even use national grid. Many of them have been unplugging every year. You read the news every year. Oh, this people have unplugged from national grid. Oh, this people, Kiniki Limited unplugged from national grid. People are unplugging from every single day and they are sourcing their own power themselves. That's the power of the Nigerian individual. We have the power to, we can actually get light on our own 24/7. We can. People are doing it every day. But what we want is to keep crying and crying and crying every day, wailing and wailing and wailing. And when they tell us, pay the money, we will not pay the money. We would run around with my roll up, and then we want magic to happen, we want to have power. That's not how, it doesn't work like that. It never ever works. What will happen is we'll continue to cry for the next 100 years. So I just feel like we should tell ourselves the truth.
Sorry, please, I have questions
like
for Uba.
That's where I would
have questions.
Just give me 10 seconds. There's just one last point.
I mean, what ask him now? Mazi, you want to ask?
There's one last point I want to bring. Minimum wage. This one is me, is what I've been thinking about for a while. I don't think Nigeria needs minimum wage for now. The reason why is because I think we pay ourselves in Nigeria when it comes to salary, and this across board, government, private, we pay ourselves below market standard. If you compare us with countries like Kenya, other African countries that are not doing so well, they still pay themselves in a reasonable way. Like there's the way Nigerians will pay each other that it feels wicked. We always pay ourselves below market standard. So if you have a country that does something like this, I think it's reasonable that you remove minimum wage temporarily, just so that you can understand how that country's market works. Because Nigeria's market is somehow. So if we keep using minimum wage, we're going to continue to fight poverty for a long time, because this minimum wage would not allow us to know exactly how to price our labor and how to make things fair, because it will keep deceiving us of like, where is the bottom, where is the top, and we keep chasing shadows. Okay, we'll increase to 200k. That 200k cannot still feed a man without children, and we keep chasing shadows over and over again. So I think the best thing for us is to remove minimum wage 100%. and have a government that is reasonable, like that can actually know something else to bring in, where we can finally start paying ourselves at least market value. Then from there, maybe we can now draw a minimum wage that actually matches that. But until we have something like that, like minimum wage is just pointless in Nigeria. There's no point of having, like, what's the point? 70k, 1 million, 2 million is pointless. It will never ever be enough. It will never ever be even reasonable.
Okay,
Yeah,
round up. So other people will use some means to engage you. Yeah.
Oba, can I ask you a question, please?
Oba, you there?
I'm done.
Yeah.
Okay, can you please ask your
Oba,
question? Then we'll have
I ask again.
to ask your question.
Yeah, Oba, I ask again. I'm sorry, Maz, I'll just take a little minute. I don't understand. I think we're not living the whole thing concerning poverty and laziness as a people. Oba, no matter how potent a sperm is, without the woman's ovulation state, can she ever get pregnant, no matter how potent? Oba? Can anyone hear me?
We can
Yes,
hear
I can hear you. I can hear you.
I think Oba.
Yeah, so Oba, I asked you again, no matter how potent a sperm is, and the woman who is not within the ovulation period, which is about 6 days, the pre and the post, can she ever get pregnant?
I mean, scientifically, I'll say no, but maybe, can you help me out? I don't know, maybe because I don't know.
Thank you. Yeah, so no, scientifically, which is the amount. So now, with the whole citizen drive, I agree citizens should drive this thing. I go back to what Mazi has asked. Which is the biggest change? Is it what the citizen want, or the enabling environment to translate the citizens' drive for a productive country? Which is the biggest change in all this conversation?
It's enabling environment now. Like government cannot.
And who creates an enabling environment?
Now, I'm actually no. I think you asked it. I'm saying it's an
no. Who creates an enabling environment?
Yes.
Who creates an enabling environment for people to speak up and they want to listen to them, for citizens to say we want to translate change, and this? Who creates that enabling environment, which is the biggest catalyst of change? Who does that?
The government.
Fantastic. I end my question. Maz, you can continue.
Charlie, you have not said anything. You keep asking people questions. Say, who create environment? Is the environment not created? So are you saying we don't have any environment at all?
Truth.
Easy of creating or doing business in Nigeria. I mean, it's not easy. If you want to start up a business,
No, Mazi, I want to beg him. If you have money, give me a loan and let us
if
sign
you want
a
to,
9% this thing.
if
I want to do it in Nigeria.
sorry,
And I will
if
employ
you want to
everybody.
start up a business in Nigeria, it's not an easy thing for you to do. Ayo will bear me witness. If you want, as a young Nigerian that wants to start up a business in Nigeria, it's not an easy job for you to start. That does not mean that we should discourage people that wants to start it. No, but government needs to do better. Government needs to do better. The amount of small businesses that is dying in Nigeria every day is not be here, though. Not be here. The amount of small businesses that I said I have a friend that closed up his gas business. Gas, I'm talking about this energy gas. He closed it up. That place, that company employed about 30 people working under him. He closed it up because of the high of tariff. I mean, how can you, the guy said that he's making about, he said 10 million naira every month. But out of that 10 million naira, he's going to pay a bill of electricity bill alone, cost him about 7 point something million naira. 10 million out of 10 million naira. He have not paid the staff that is working for him. So he has to close it up. He has to close it, shut it down. So what are we saying? Easy of doing businesses in Nigeria, not be here.
So let me
Let's
just
tell ourselves the truth.
let's put it like this. It's not as if government doesn't play a role in ensuring that businesses are established and all of that. So government, sets up the regulatory framework, regulation policies to ensure that certain businesses can come in and you can do your business. But I guess the other part of the complaint for people is, and for people like me, is your work is not just to set up that policy. Say, for instance, telecom sector. Your job is not just to set up the policy and regulatory framework to say, oh, buy license, run the operations, and all of that. As a government, you should also look at various sectors and say, what are the challenges in various sectors? This particular sector needs huge, data infrastructure, or needs this power infrastructure, or needs this, or needs, a go between them and their markets in China or their markets in India. And those in government will haven't, realized all of that with constant research to understand what each sectors need, begin to provide the manpower and resources to ensure that they can bridge those gaps and ensure that those businesses will continue to succeed and thrive. That is where we fail woefully in governance and government in Nigeria. So what we do in Nigeria, we set up the regulatory framework, the policy to set up businesses. Once the businesses start making money, government will begin to tax the hell out of you. And that is really infuriating and frustrating for lots of people that do business in Nigeria. So I guess the reason why they say people drive it is because against this backdrop and against all this odds, people still continue to trudge on and continue to succeed in this very hostile, seemingly hostile environment where the ease of business is quite tough. You continue to have to navigate, you have to bribe, you have to do this just to succeed. So what we're saying as the people is that, look, government has to do better. Government has to make our lives a bit better. Government has to have the foresight, and research, decision based to say these are the challenges. Let us ensure that these things are there for the farmers. They've looked at the farms and said, okay, these farmers, this side, not only are we saying we're giving you Anchors Borers program, but this side is arid. How do we get water, through pumps to get water to constantly irrigate those places? Then what silos are we building to ensure that they can store their harvest? Then what road are we building to ensure that from their roads they can get into the main market to sell their produce? All these are really government decisions, and these are the things we're not really seeing, and that is why a lot of citizens are complaining. So I don't know who the next person is, Mazi.
Yeah. Let's go to the press. Yeah, the press is the next person.
Mazi,
Question for Uba now. Where is he?
Oba has left. Oba has left.
Mazi,
Okay.
No, Kingsley, you're not the person. You're not the person. I think the press has been here. Let him go. After him, you will go. Polonium has been here before you, Sha. So after him, Polonium, you go. Then you go. So go ahead, the press.
a quick question. Do we know that
Who are you
the
want to ask
masses
the
in
question?
Nigeria,
Okay, okay.
can I go, the general question, do we know that the masses are already transiting into solar energy in Nigeria as we speak today, even without the input of government? And government just recently gave free duty on that. Just recently, but the masses have been on it for a while.
No,
You see the
Doggy, you are
problem. You are right.
wrong.
What you're saying.
No, no,
Wait
no.
now, calm down.
He's wrong. Hold on, Charlie Pete. The reason why I said it's wrong is there's a new policy that is coming up where government wants to ban importation of solar panel. And if that policy is done, automatically the cost of getting solar panel will go up
Okay. Now you said I'm wrong. I said that the masses are transiting into
because
that.
government failed. That's why people
You
are going
don't,
to
you're not,
solar
you're not
panel
understanding. You're not, see, I said that they are transiting already without the
because
government.
government failed. The reason why you have borehole in your house is because government failed. The reason why
I
people
No,
am
are
not
going
arguing
solar
with
Samuel,
you. Are
panel
you
you
are
is
saying
following the
two
because
different
argument at
government
things.
all?
failed.
You are
The
saying two
reason why
Are you
different
people
following
things.
the
are going
argument at
into
all?
private school is because
I,
government.
Salu, both of you are saying different things. This is trying to make a point to say the people are doing so and so without government or having to need government. You are talking about why the people need to do that because we're going to say two different things. You know, I know they are linked, but there are two different things at the moment. So just let him learn, then you can now, put your postulation if you are next to say, oh, these things are linked because if government had done all of these things, then we'll not be needing to be buying solar or getting solar in the first place. I hope you understand. So just let Dodgy learn the
But but
submission.
Saliu is making a valid point. Had it been that we have electricity, is there any need for someone to go and be buying a solar panel?
But
Is
that
there any
is,
need?
I'm not saying the point is not valid, but it's outside the point he's trying to make. Otherwise, you'll not be conflating two issues, even though they have some level of linkage. Doug is only responding to what we're saying over government interventions and all of that. So he's
Okay,
saying
okay,
that
okay, okay,
people
okay,
like,
okay,
you
okay,
understand?
okay, okay. So, Dr.
you,
Fee,
you said that the
Jesus
citizens cannot
Christ, it
influence
is
the
my
change.
turn to speak now. Jehovah Jireh.
The press about just 30 seconds. Just 30 seconds. I don't
Abba,
want to
now,
get this
can't
thing.
you wait? Doggy,
Biko,
I've
no,
been
Biko, just
speaking.
30 seconds. Just 30 seconds, Biko. Just 30 seconds, Biko. Biko. Mazi, you guys are saying that citizens cannot influence a change. And I'm telling you that the citizens are already transiting. They are making a change already because the government have failed. They are trying to use solar energy to power their electricity. And you're telling me it is because they have failed. Yes, it's because they have failed. But the citizens are already doing something.
look at where we want
How
to
to
get it
the
from
press, make
now.
the talk,
And
make
there
the
is
press
another
talk, make
thing
the press talk. That's
to
how I will
ban the
come.
importation of that solar energy that you're talking about.
That's
There's
even
another
say
bill coming up from government.
there's a bill. The bill don't pass. They just gave free duty on it. What are you saying? I'm telling you that they
So,
just gave free duty on
but are they
it.
banning so
Doggy,
that they
30
can do it
So
seconds.
now
in
citizens
Nigeria?
providing their own electricity is change. So
I
everybody
don't know
wake up
where
and
that I
know.
don't know
Now
where
these
that
are
person
government
is
are very
hearing
lucky
about
people.
the ban
Oh.
on
Very, very
the
lucky
solar
government.
energy. Where is he
So the
hearing the
press
ban
go,
on
please.
solar?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Let the press go, please. Let the press speak. The press, are you there? Please go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Your voice is always low, but go ahead. We can manage.
Okay, is it better now?
Yeah.
Okay. Mazi, I hope you guys allow me to speak and say what is in my mind. So please, no one should interrupt me or kick me out. So I'm begging now before I even talk. This room
So
is
long as you don't insult anybody, you are free.
this, no problem. Thank you. This room is a microcosm of why Nigeria will never succeed. This exact room is a reason why. Because you people are here arguing that government cannot succeed. I know, and the fact that government is bad. This room, the government in this room is the reason why government is bad. Because Mazi, you were in this room and you allowed a certain group of people to talk while other people have been waiting for an hour to speak. That is that is poor government, that is poor leadership, and that is why Nigerians are suffering. Because which is why before I started speaking, I was against Doggy. But Doggy is right. Nigeria's poor leadership is a product of its people. Because you, Mazi, if you become governor of Anambra State, Anambra will fall. Because you couldn't even manage a simple room. You couldn't manage a simple room. So how would you manage a state? If you could not even let the citizens of this room have equal rights to speak, how will your state function if you cannot manage an electronic space? That is why Nigerians are suffering. And then for the citizens themselves that are then saying that Nigerian government is bad and is not meant to speak, you let other people speak. So tell me, you guys can't even have a good fostering relationship between yourselves. So how can the citizenry themselves succeed if you guys are hijacking other people's rights to also succeed? So on both sides of the equation, in fact, Nigerian governments are tailor-made for Nigerian people. Because if Nigerians deserve good things, we will have good leaders. But Nigerians are not good people. That is why we have bad leaders. We are tailor-made for each other. Tailor-made. Bad leadership for bad people. Anyways, to conclude my conversation in this room, I heard you people arguing that Nigerians are doing well in the music space and in the music industry without the intervention of the people, without the intervention of the government. How don't you guys see that as failure? That the people have to go outside of the government's help to succeed. How don't you guys see that as a failure? And the fact that you guys will still call the same people that are succeeding without government intervention lazy is asinine. That is the craziest part because you admit there is government failure, but the people that are still succeeding with the same government failure are also what? Lazy. How do those two words come in a sentence? How can you be succeeding with government failure? Okay, Nigerians are succeeding in the music industry without government assistance. Nigerians are succeeding in the arts without government assistance. But yet, those same Nigerians that are succeeding without government assistance in those fields of endeavor are also lazy at the same time. Make that make sense. And the same Nigerians, if you go to every system that works, if you go to all the countries that work, the same lazy youths are the same youths that are the top performing minority groups in the countries that they find themselves. Top performing minority groups in all those same countries, the same lazy Nigerians will go to Canada, the UK, Europe, any region they go to, yet they are still the top performing minority groups in those same spaces. But Nigerians are lazy. Nigeria as a country has a youth unemployment. Again, please, someone else to go and verify this if I'm saying anything wrong. I am more than happy to be corrected. Youth unemployment is over 50%. Youth unemployment. In fact, what is the function of a government? If the citizens should do everything on their own, what is the function of a government? What is the function of the executive branch? Isn't the function of an executive arm of the government to create an security conducive environment such as steady power supply, good road network? I wanted to start my own clothing underwear line business in Nigeria. I went to Aba to source the materials because I wanted everything to be as locally made as possible. That was my stake. That was my ethical thing I wanted to do with this line. So I wanted every single item of production to be locally sourced in Nigeria to the extent that I can. Do you know how I sent my cousin to Aba? He was like, he will never go back there again. This is prior to OT being governor. He said he will never go back to Aba again. It was smelling. There was open water, swamp. Like it was that bad. With the level of creativity in Aba, he could not find himself wanting to go back there again because we were business partners in that venture. That was how bad it was. Someone from Northeast or someone from anywhere will want to go to Aba, they have to first of all determine how they will get to Aba safely because of insecurity, kidnapping on the highway. Isn't the job of government not to provide security? So I have to determine what I have to go through to get to Aba safely. And when I go to Aba safely, I have to fight open sewage, open gutter. I have to fight the horrible stench. I have to fight all the dues and everything that someone has to pay along the way just to do something that is made in Nigeria. The government did not create an enabling environment, even though the creativity is there. And lastly, for someone to be poor, you don't have to be lazy to be poor. Nigeria is an example of a group of hardworking people that are poor because this country does not reward hard work. There are so many elements that you have to fight for you to be successful in this country. I am an immigrant in the States, and I became a successful person in less than 5 years, but I spent my whole life in Nigeria before coming here. In less than 5 years, I am a productive member of the society. I was born and raised up in Nigeria, and I was not a productive member of the community till I left and came to a society that worked. And in 5 years, I was able to have my own things that would have been extremely hard for me to get in Nigeria as a country. So yes, it is the job of the government. And Mazi has demonstrated that it is the job. If there's any example of how crucial government intervention is in the productivity of a nation, this space is a prime example. Because I got into this room 8:30 in the morning, and I'm speaking when it's almost 10 o'clock in the morning. This is a prime example of the reasons why government intervention is needed. Because if Mazi was diligent in his leadership role, 2 or 3 people would not have spoken for the greater part of an hour, allowing other people to wait in silence and subjugated for them to talk. This is why government intervention is important. And again, if you need a prime example, this room should be a prime example why we need government intervention to succeed. Because I could have said what I said a long time ago if I had the opportunity to speak. So again, thank you for letting me speak, and I hope everyone has a wonderful day today.
Okay, okay, thank you. But the press, I know when he joined this space, he did not join this space and pick up mic immediately. You cannot speak from the listener session.
Mas,
You,
I have question. I have
yeah,
question.
you ask. Let me respond, please. You speak when you join the speaker session. You join the space and listen for some hours before you came up. You cannot stay on the listener session and speak. I know when you
I
join this
know.
space.
I came on this
So,
space
so
on this
I know
space
when
as
you
a
join the
speaker.
speaker session, not when you join the space in particular.
Mazi, just collect the cane and move on. The man is not wrong. Just collect the
I'm telling you,
correction
get your
and move
feedback
on.
and improve.
Just collect the correction and
It's
move
a
on.
feedback, and it's
The
a good
press,
feedback.
thank
Thank
you
you,
for
the
that.
press.
Thank you for
Thank you,
that,
the
bringing
press,
our
though. I
attention
beg, don't
to
the
the way
press
we have
enter
conducted
Nigeria. I beg,
ourselves.
change them to press Nigeria.
Okay, okay. I don't collect them. Let me take it as a feedback. Thank you. We will do we will do better next time. Um, who has a question? Dog, you say you have a question.
Yeah, I have a question. The press, a wonderful submission there. Yeah, but my question now is: the Nigeria that is unproductive, are they people that are succeeding in it? The US that you went to that's productive, are there Nigerian immigrants there that are not making it there? These are my questions.
Again, nothing is absolute. Nothing in this world is an absolute, right?
Okay, thank you very much.
But
Because
I
you
will
spoke
say
as a
this in
person.
addition to that. Even as in the same vein that nothing is absolute, it shows that if you take some people that are in an unproductive environment and put those same group of people in a productive environment, and they end up being one of the top producers in that productive environment, doesn't it show that it is not the people but the environment? I rest my case.
Please, sorry, I just want to ask the press something. Just one question. I beg, just 1 second. You understand? The press. So why is it that when somebody, is driving in Nigeria, is lawless, he does not obey traffic and all those things, and he gets to US, he starts obeying traffic? Why? What changed?
You're not trying to
Because they
you're
have
not trying to shoot
enforcement,
yourself on the leg.
because they have good and reliable enforcement agencies. Do Nigeria have a good, reliable enforcement agency? Thank you. I rest my case again.
But you should have asked him why is it that our government agency are not obeying traffic as well, but they went to US and obey all of it. So I've never seen a government agency in Nigeria obeying traffic, but they will go to US and obey it. So I didn't know who.
Mazi, can I add to that answer? Can I add to that answer
Mazi,
before waiting for my
Your
time?
Nigerian institutions, they don't even pay NEPA bill.
Mazi,
Your institutions
can
in
I
Nigeria, they
add to
don't pay
that
bills.
answer by the press or something? Can
Yeah,
I
yeah,
add to
yeah,
that answer?
yeah, go ahead.
Okay, the people obey traffic, you know why? Because they found a people that is in America that are obeying traffic. So you don't have a choice but to follow suit. So that is why an Oyinbo man who comes to Nigeria will start breaking Nigerian law because he realized that there are people in Nigeria who are breaking the law. I will wait for my time before I speak again.
Bro,
One thing,
let me tell you this. Let me tell you this. You will see a common Nigeria standing to obey the traffic. You will not see a politician wait, and drove one way. You will not see those people that is obeying traffic before follow suit. So what are we saying?
I
What
want to
are we
even
saying?
ask him,
It happens.
that if I should break the law in Nigeria, what will happen to me? For example, traffic law. Here in maybe Lagos they have something stringent, but here in Ibadan, if I don't wait for the traffic light, will anything happen to me? Nothing will happen to me. So do you now think that or when people do 4 lane, 10 lane, that you take the two roads, will anything happen?
Let's
Actually,
allow.
that discussion is bigger than this thing that we are talking.
Yeah.
So that is why don't let us go into it.
But
I can tell you a lot of things about
Let's
that.
not go.
if I
That
obey
discussion is
traffic
bigger.
lights in America, will anything happen to
Yeah,
me?
let's not go into a conversation of
It is because there's
traffic
a
conversation.
culture.
Let's not go into a traffic warrior now. No traffic. I beg. Nigerians are not obeying traffic from top to bottom. Nobody. Make all they do this here. Government
sorry,
officials not they obey.
Mazi,
How common people go obey?
Mazi, can I say,
Government
Mazi, can I
officials not
just
they
make
obey.
one
How
last,
can common people obey? The president say you
Mazi,
want to say something.
can I make one, Mazi, I just want to make one last statement, please. Again, there are a lot of people committing crime in America, right? America is not a crime-free zone, right? There's a lot of people committing crimes, and there's some people that will get away from it, and there's some people that might not. But the greater majority of people that commit crime are always caught. Because I have seen someone run a red light. The day I ran my own red light, they sent me a ticket to my mail that I have to pay $80 for that
Thank you for
ticket.
saying this thing that you are saying now. Thank you. Because I
Hold
just
on,
wonder when people come.
hold
Thank
on,
you.
hold on. But it corrected my behavior. You see why you need enforcement. It corrected my behavior. I did not run that red light because I'm a Nigerian. I ran that red light because I was in a haste. But right now, even if I'm in a haste running anywhere, once I see yellow, I don't speed up. I slow down because I know how much that $80 paid me to pay because the money I made that day was not even up to $80. Yet I paid $80 on fine. That is how you correct behavior.
All
That
right,
is how you
can
maintain
I ask a
culture.
question? If like when you ran that red light, you didn't get a fine, would you do it again?
Of course.
Exactly, that's the point.
Of
Or
course.
maybe, or do you think the person that ran that you see ran it, do you think they've not been caught before? Or they've not paid
What
fine
if that
before?
person?
I,
What if the
I don't
person that
know.
ran it has been given tickets and you are not aware? How about that?
They've been getting tough. That's what I'm telling you.
And
See,
in
Sally, you don't
Nigeria,
know
we
about this
don't have
discussion.
laws.
Don't worry. You
Nobody
don't
is
know about
enforcing
it.
the law
You
in
don't.
Nigeria.
You
It
don't
is
know about
wrong.
it. So don't speak about it. You don't know about it.
In Nigeria, like I said in Ibadan, if I should break the law, if I should run traffic lights, nobody, maybe only if Otram see me, which is very rare. In Lagos, they have put up measures in Lagos.
Mazi,
There are CCTV
can I speak
cameras in
now?
Lagos which are monitoring you.
Tell you, people still
There's even
commit
speaker.
crime despite all of these punitive measures. That's what we are letting you
But
know. But because
but
people
the
decide to
people will
imbibe a
always commit
culture,
crime because
they
they are
limit it.
humans.
Mazi, can you hear me?
People will
Let's move on. Let's move the mic. Let's move the mic. Let's move the mic to Kinsley. If Kinsley is here, Kinsley, please go ahead. Sally, I will come back to you. So, Kinsley, are you here?
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear
Please
me?
go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Thank you so much for having me, Mazi, and greetings to everybody on this space. The topic here is: are we poor or just lazy? I've listened to so many people here, so many other past speakers, and it is sad how some of us are very quick to blame the people for all the issues going on in Nigeria, but we try to find so many ways to exonerate the government. And even when some people want to want to blame the government, they still find a way to blame the people. Instead of blaming the government, they will tell the people that their government is a reflection of them. So we as people, when we gather like this, we try our best to hold our leaders accountable. We elected them into offices not to be a reflection of the criminals we have in the society, but to make changes that will uplift the lives of Nigerians, to be different, to lead by example, to emulate, benchmark some of these other foreign countries, see some of the systems, some of the things that work there and bring them back to our people. That's the reason why we elected them into office. So when some of the speakers here try to blame the government, let's not be quick or so quick to exonerate them. Let's try to find reasonable balance in our argument. That will also help us to find solution to move forward. So that way, if there are some of us here that are still trying to go into politics, when we get there, we don't bank on the fact that some people are going to sit on the Twitter spaces and be blaming the people instead of holding us accountable that are going to be in the leadership. And if you're into investigation or you've done some investigation, you understand that when you do root cause analysis on the Nigerian cause, everything will point back to basic infrastructure. If you actually want to move the Nigerian system forward, there is no way you can do that without blaming the government. And like one of the previous speaker mentioned, the only sector in Nigeria thriving is that which the government do not have control of, the entertainment industry. I think it's it's something that we should be worried of. When you go down to this basic infrastructure, electricity is a very key one. As a Nigerian, we are not lazy, but when we want to set up a business in Nigeria, you're thinking about the cost. How are you going to keep your business running, to employ people? Electricity is one of the core things that we need to drive the economy in Nigeria if we actually want to move it forward. And when Mazi mentioned earlier in his talk that there is no country that developed without electricity, and that is a fact. That's true. Last year, I wanted to set up a business in Anambra State. I came down to my state. I bought 50 plots of land in my village, in my hometown. I wanted to build a mini factory. I wanted to go into paper mill business and stuff. But now, one of the biggest challenges that I face was electricity. How do I actually access stable electricity? Am I going to be buying diesel? What about those times when this diesel is not accessible? How do I keep the business running? Am I going to be running around the filling stations or something like that with jerry cans or something? And we talk about solar panels and stuff. Solar panels is good for homes, but it's not good, it's not sustainable to run factories. You can't use it to power factories. My very good friend that also went back to Nigeria at the same time also started up his own oil refining business. It's more of a red oil and granite oil and all those stuffs. When we were talking last night, he mentioned to me that one of the biggest challenges he's having is electricity. He has to pay someone, the people at the NEPA office, because he pay high cost in his NEPA fee, but he still doesn't get even up to 2, 3, or 4 hour electricity per day. It's not guaranteed. He has to find a way to, go to the NEPA office because that's what they advise him, even from the NEPA people, to do. Talk to the boss so that the boss can see if your line will be having a light at least 4 or 6 hours per day. He said that's costing him lots of money on the other side, in addition to his high cost of electricity. So if we are being reasonable about moving our country forward, this is not something, electricity is not something that me and you, any one of us here on this space, is going to be able to fix. It goes back to those root cause analysis, the basic infrastructure that we need to move the country forward. We can't do anything without the electricity. And then again, I listened to some people talk about how when they wanted to how there are no much people in Nigeria building mobile application, and when they wanted to build some stuff, they couldn't find it in Nigeria. They have to, some tech stuff. They had to hire some people from other countries or something. That comes back to government as well. The quality of educations that we receive. I left for Canada. I traveled. I came down to Canada back in 2013. I finished school around that same time before coming down here. As at the time I finished from a federal university in Nigeria, the computer language that I was taught in school in 2013 was Fortran 77. Fortran 77 was used in the 1977,
Bros,
1978.
now photo you go.
My brother, 1977,
Now
1978.
photo you go.
Just listen, I don't want to at least give some of those stuffs here. But what I'm trying to come from is, imagine me finishing from Fortran 77, and then I'm in my class in school here in Canada. The language got outdated back in the 70s or in the early 80s. Before I was born, nobody uses this again. And that's what I was taught in school in Nigeria. So how do you expect me to build Facebook with salt? How do you expect a Nigerian person that finished in this generation to compete with building a platform like TikTok, all these other, platforms that we use? So before we blame, I heard one other guy that was blaming. Okay, he said you keep away the 66% that are in abject poverty, maybe about 10 to 20%. Before you start blaming the 10 to 20% of Nigerian population that are able to go to school or university, consider the quality of education they receive. Do they even have the knowledge to build those stuff? Now, when you go to university in Nigeria, you have your first degree, you travel, you're going to struggle within your first few years, brushing up, relearning whatever they've taught you in Nigeria. So our academic curriculum in Nigeria is so poor and outdated. We need to update those stuff. It goes back to the Nigerian government. You that is speaking here, that is exonerating the government, your brother or your sister cannot change the curriculum. So you don't blame him for learning the outdated stuffs. It goes back to the government. Now, somebody also talked about Tesla and maybe some of these other companies that started up in the West are being driven by private investors and stuff. And that's a fact. Those companies, most of those companies in this part of the world are usually private investor driven and all those. However, there are huge incentives to start them from the government. In 2010, Tesla received $465 million loan from the government to start up his factory in California. Nigerian from the US Department of Energy. This is not from the bank or from this, like somebody was saying here, go to this bank, go to that bank, which me and you know that no bank these days gives loan in Nigeria.
or maybe you have to know somebody that knows somebody to access some of those. But this is from government that he got this grant. Last year alone, in 2024, Tesla received over $2 billion in research and development grant from the government. They also receive billions of grants, a whole bunch of inflation tax reductions and all of it. Such grants and fundings are available and accessible to so many people with those ideas to start up your businesses. If you want to start it up, you have those ideas and stuff. There are pathways to help you succeed. We do not have those infrastructural pathways in Nigeria. Look at agriculture, for instance, where we do have small subsidy in Nigeria. The farmers that are able to access those subsidies cannot go to their farms to farm because of insecurity. And now, are you going to blame them for not being able to go to their farms? You can't. You have to go back to the government. So when we come down here to do all this stuff, I think it makes more sense for us to find a way to hold our government accountable so they can do the needful and help the people. That way our people can stand. And when we blame the people for not being able to pay for electricity, how do you expect me to pay for electricity monthly when I get light maybe 2 or 3 days a month? If it happens here in Canada, for instance, like let's say I don't get light electricity for let's say a day or two or something, I get rebate for that because you don't know what that cost me. So, which I've never really experienced since I came here since 2013. So I think when we want to do stuff, let's try. Our people are not lazy. I cannot blame any Nigerian for that, because if we see the percentage of us that travel, we are usually the best. If you check the statistics in US, among all the immigrants in US, Nigeria is one of the high performing ones. The same thing here in Canada. The same thing I'm pretty sure in UK and other places. Why is it that we do better when we go outside than we do back home? Because we do not have the infrastructure to do so. So we shouldn't be blaming our people. Our people are not lazy. Our people need the infrastructure. Our people are not asking for much. Because if they're asking for much, the government shouldn't be in power when they are not able to provide all these things for them. All they need is just those basic things. Give them electricity. I don't think they're even asking for water this time around, which is a basic thing they need, because they've all started having their own boreholes in their homes. But give them stable electricity. Look at Dangote that built his own refinery. Nigerian government is even fighting him because they are still reliant on that, their imported gas and all those stuff. It's still a whole bunch of politics going in there. So the issue we have with subsidy in the past was corruption, because they don't know where that subsidy, that money is going and all this. So why can't they make arrangement with Dangote? Now they know who he is. Pay him that money. We pay the people that we don't know in subsidy, so that the gas price or the fuel price or diesel price, whatever thing, would reduce. It makes it accessible for people if they cannot provide stable electricity for them. So please, this is an interesting conversation. But when we have them, let's try to be a little bit reasonable with the topics and all the stuff, and also considerate of our people's plans.
So Kingsley, do you have a problem with government giving Nigerian government giving Dangote loan to start up a business, for instance?
Hell no, I don't have a problem with that. But what I'm saying is, like, Tesla got loan. It's not only him. If someone else wants to get the loan, that person can get it. So it shouldn't be selective. If you, Mazi, want to get it, let's say you have a brilliant idea to set up a solar panel, a solar powered bicycle or motorcycle or something there, you should be able to access the loan from government. It shouldn't be a Dangote factor, because Dangote knows somebody.
And apart from loan, Tesla is getting grants here and there, research grants.
Tesla gets billions of grants every day.
I think they did it to Dangote in terms of all this refinery now. They did
but
it
that's
to
a one man, Maz. You don't get it. It's a one man.
Hold on. I saw another one. Bua's own is being.
They also did it to Innocent. Innocent got from Jonathan administration. Innocent also got from Buhari administration. Innocent got 20 billion from Jonathan administration, got 16 billion from Buhari administration.
No.
Let me ask you, if I want to set up a business in Nigeria, is there
Doggy, it's for credit scheme? Innocent did not get it as a loan, no. It's a credit scheme, So that money not even enter
It
your
was
What
hand.
are
not
you
a
saying? It's a
credit.
loan. What are
It
you
was not
saying?
a.
Can you
It
You
was.
publish
want us to
if
No,
say
any
that
nothing
it's
never
not?
got loan?
it was neither a
No.
loan. It was neither a loan nor credit
Oh,
scheme.
na keep
It
quiet
was.
now.
It
But you
was
never
for the
talk. Say why you
rehabilitation of the
talk
Niger
now?
Delta youth. What are you talking?
Sorry, you said rehabilitation of what?
Niger Delta youth.
I don't understand. He said Innocent got loan. That's what he
Yes,
said.
I said he got grant. He got money.
He didn't get grant. Can you share it? He never got grant.
It's okay.
Please, can you share it?
It's
And I
okay.
know they
No,
argue so much. And I
Innocent, they
know be
never got
innocent. And I
grant.
know get 16 billion. And I told the argue Nigeria is still where it is.
Odunayo, he said what?
And I'm not get 16 billion. And I'm not being innocent. And I'm not they argue whether somebody get and Nigerians are still suffering where they are. So just
No,
leave it.
Odunayo is not.
It's
No,
your
we're trying
word
to make
against the other
even the
person.
people
That's,
who they call.
you don't win those things. You don't work with the company. You don't do anything. So you cannot even provide evidence to say you are getting what the dog is saying. Neither the dog you have evidence to provide that he has anything he's saying. You get the point. So these things are just
No. The
mirage.
argument was
Odunayo, you know the government.
it's like
Odunayo, you know that we
you're
have
not
a
following the
That's
braggadocious
conversation.
government.
conversation. I don't care
You're not
If
following
the
the
government has
conversation.
done it, they will brag with it. Odunayo, you know we have a braggadocious government that do nothing and claim paperwork. They would have been saying it like anything.
That is
They would have been saying it like anything.
that is
If
not true. That is not true. Dangote got loan from
We are
listen.
talking about grants and mass. You
Mazi,
are talking about loan. Dangote will get loan from anybody. Dangote sleeps and loan will come and meet him.
No.
Otedola will sleep
Kingsley
and
is
loan will come
talking
and meet
about
him.
loan given to Texas.
What are we
You know
saying?
what
People are
Kingsley
making it
said
look as if
here?
those guys struggle to get
Mazi,
loan.
Kingsley is
People
talking about
actually beg to give
loan.
them loans.
no,
Kingsley is
no,
talking
no,
about loan.
Mazi, listen. I said when Tesla started, he got hundreds of millions of loan from government. Now again, last year loan he get billions of money from government in grants. Grants are not repayable. You don't pay it back.
You don't pay it back. That's what we're saying.
Easily. This is okay. All of these informations
You need
are
to put
not
this argument
true.
with any document you have. You just,
Ah,
anyway, let's leave
you
this
Eh?
one.
are. Why are you doing this?
Listen
No,
again.
no, no,
And
it's
before
true.
Let it
Don't
Tesla
worry.
started,
Sorry,
before
Are you
Tesla
sorry. Let me
started
just
Kingsley,
read.
are
also.
you done? Kingsley, are you
Let me
done?
just read because
No,
it is
let me
true.
wrap up. Let me wrap up.
Okay.
Maz.
Dangote got
Got
free loan, but you will not appreciate the government.
Maz, let me
Abiodun,
finish up.
I don't know
Maz,
why your blood is this hot. Sorry,
Maz,
Jerry
let,
continue.
Can you wrap up
Maz,
your
let me wrap
thoughts?
up, please.
Wrap up
Give
your
me
thoughts,
30
yeah.
seconds. Let me wrap up, please.
Wrap
Uh,
up your thoughts, yeah.
Now, what I'm saying is, we need to encourage our government to hold them accountable to be able to provide basic infrastructure for the people. When Tesla started off, they see that this is a brilliant idea, but they considered, what about person traveling from Onitsha to Oka? How did that person fill up this car to come back? Now, what the government did was that they funded building electric charging ports across the United States. They built it themselves to support Tesla. So, and also to encourage other companies that want to go into that EV line of business. So that way, when people drive the car, they are not stranded on the road. And when you also buy a Tesla car, you get $7,500 tax credit. So this also to encourage the people, the citizens, to purchase those cars themselves also. So our government need to do better. I don't need to know somebody to access loan in Nigeria. I understand, like you said, Dangote got it, Otedola got it. Look at the class of people who are
Comparing Nigeria and US is like
who
light
are
and
also
darkness.
the
Just
people that
compare us
fund
according to our
who
peers.
are also people that fund the government. Look at the class that gets all these stuffs. Now, if I want to access, let's say, research and development grant in Canada, there is a site, a portal they call SHRED, SRED. I can go in through there. I can submit my application. I don't need to know Jack person. I don't need to know any single individual. I just submit my application there. If my program or maybe my company meets the requirement, which they will list A to Z of the requirement. If my program meets those, I will get those grants. That should be the system in Nigeria. There needs to be a
Okay,
proper
round off.
process, a system in place for people, the common people, to access this without breaking your leg, trying to sort somebody in how to access all these stuffs. So I think we should do better, all of us here on this space, to hold our government accountable, because when you do your root cause analysis, everything goes back to the government. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. So let's have plenum, then we'll go to ordinary. Plenum, are you there?
Can you give me a few minutes? I want to leave. I want to leave for class immediately.
If plenum will allow you, then you can go.
If you don't
Plenum,
allow me, I leave this state. I don't need to keep myself. I've just told you what it is.
Pluno, are you there? Can you give Ordinary some minutes?
Yeah, let him go ahead. Yeah.
Yeah, Ordinary, please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you, Brother Polonium.
You need to raise your voice, bro. I didn't know. Are you still using a web to connect?
I always use web to connect with my phone, but I'm using my laptop. That's the challenge right now. But anyways, can you hear me now?
Yeah, yes.
Okay, thank you, Polonium. Thank you, and I trust you're doing fine. Good morning or good afternoon, wherever you are. Mazi, this your topic is very, very interesting for me. It's very philosophical, if you ask me. And this has been a dangerous trend set up by Buhari himself when he said Nigerian youth are lazy. And this man ended up being president of Nigeria for 8 years without any fundamental empowerment for young people to discover whether they are actually lazy or not. And that trajectory have continued.
Odoyo, you know this is not fair, Sha. Odoyo, you know this is not fair.
Please, I beg in the name of God, you are not Nigeria for me, please. You get America, please, Canada, they argue with me. What did they argue with me for? You don't live for Nigeria very well. Don't work for Nigeria. Please don't argue with me. What's your problem? You argue with me. You don't work for Nigerian government. You don't work for Nigerian government. Have you gone to where your life is at risk? Please leave the discussion for me, I beg. Buhari failed Nigerian youth. And that's no argument for me to talk about. As a union president, University of Benin, I had the opportunity to travel to US because of leadership empowerment for people who are of young persons. This was as a result of 1980-something agreement with the American Embassy with University of Benin. So every year, every senior union president goes to America for leadership training. So that was my first experience of seeing how systems should look like. And that system looked like. Today, I'm basically schooling in the US. And I can tell you that there are not just a lot of things, there are fundamental things that have made this different. But that's not my problem. I will not compare Nigeria with the US. I will not do so. That is darkness for me and light, and I will not do so. And I will not imagine that. Because I don't imagine that President Donald Trump is sick. They will not take him to France or take him to Canada to go and take care of his health. So that's not my argument. So I will not go there. Because when Donald Trump was shot in Philadelphia, they did not take him to Harrisburg, the capital of Philadelphia. They took him to Philadelphia Day Hospital, military hospital in Philadelphia there to treat him. They did not take him to Washington. They did not take him to Boston. They did not take him to any other state. Say, oh, this place don't get this thing. They took him to that same city. That means if you get problem with this city, you will get a solution in those cities. So that's just what it is. If you say Nigerian youth are lazy, what are the programs that have been elevated to help Nigerian youth to discover even their potentials? Before I will criticize you as a person, even as a young person, I will have seen that you have constantly make up your mind to do failure. I can say this person, you are bound to make failures because your actions over time is consistent to failure. That's just how it is. Like you want to write JAMB to enter university, and you're not reading, and you want to study law or medicine. You can't just come out and be there. So when I want to write JAMB, or when I was writing JAMB to enter university, I knew what I was reading. I wasn't reading for my mates because I knew I wanted to study law. And I know my father did not know anybody. I needed to score very high score so that I'm able to have, even though my father want to beg somebody, they will say, okay, beg this person who he has done well. But by the grace of God, my father did not even need to talk to anybody. I got admission based on merit without knowing anybody because I met the requirement of the university and I got admission to study law. So when you want to succeed by your own day, it is by your Monday, Tuesday actions that determine those actions. Sometimes I stay put in the midnight because I'm reading my book. Sometimes my wife was like, you don't rest? I say, no, you have to pay the price today. I've been paying the price for more than 10, 15 years, 20 years, but I still have to pay the price because of where I find myself right now. So there's a culture of people making progress in life. It doesn't come by mistake. You have to pay the dues today. If you don't pay it today, you start saying, I know. That's not my problem. That's not our prayers. So Nigerian youth, what is the program for Nigerian youth? Let's even use the Tinubu administration, first of all. What is the program? What is the deliberate policies that can elevate people from poverty? I'm here. I have developed program that will help my community, my local government, or even my area, that two local government within my area, to develop them out of poverty. And it's not something I'm going to give to anybody, something I want to personally use my life experiences and my fund, everything I have in my life to fund the project. Because I feel that the only thing I owe myself is to help the next person. If I'm doing anything and I'm not helping the next person, whatever I have is useless. So that's why everything I play to acquire in my life is first to help my community, then to help other people across the world, whether you are Christian or Muslim or you are Nigerian or not. But I will start from my place. Like Christ said, start from here. You will start from somewhere. I want to start from my place to do so. So it's not a big deal to develop a program that will deliberately remove people out of poverty. It's not a big deal. People have done it. We don't need to do anything. Don't copy America. Look at what Germany don't do. What other people don't do. That's it. While I was working as a researcher, I wrote a paper. The paper was mainstreaming informal sectors in Nigeria. How do you mainstream informal sector? Then I look at countries like China, countries like India, countries like Peru, who have developed a mechanism to pulling people out of poverty, and there are results to it. It's not like I'm saying anything. You can go to your phone and check this thing. How China was able to pull people out of poverty. How India have developed a system today they have used to pull people out of poverty. How are they doing it? What are they doing? That doesn't mean that there's no crime. That doesn't mean that there's no problem in India. No, we're not talking about problem-free society. There's no problem-free society. After you're in the society, there will be problem. But the challenge is, how do you overcome these challenges? What are your programs to helping people to develop a system that will take them out of this calculation that we find ourselves? We don't even have it in Nigeria. As I talk to you right now, there's no policy to remove people out of poverty in Nigeria today. There's no program. Those ones you hear, you win, all those ones, what do they do? Those are not programs to remove people out of poverty. That's the honest truth. With Jonathan and you're not actually doing anything poverty. If you want to do poverty, you start from the school curriculum. It will address the need of Nigeria as of today. Professor Fafunwa developed 6334 educational system in 1986. That's what we are still using. What is the intention? The intention is that by the time you are done with JSS3, you will know whether you want to go and do professional or you technical college. That's why you have NAPTEP exam and you have technical colleges around this country. Those times was when they developed polytechnics in Nigeria, because they wanted to make sure that people do not just have professional education, they have technical skill. So if you go to, you cannot study law, cannot study medicine, cannot study anything that is technically inclined, you will go and study courses that are technically, like, they don't have professional incline and all that.
Hands-on, right?
Eh?
Hands-on technical learning. Yeah.
Yes, thank you. This is a program Germany have developed. This is a program Germany that Doki is. He can tell you this thing. They have a very resourceful system of technical education. Very strong one. In the United States here, they have developed a system that you can be a mechanic, and the way that you can even be a mechanic, you can be a mechanic in the US here. You can be going to school of mechanic in college while you are going to mechanic store. They will pay you every month for working and at the same time schooling. These are two projects. The way the school is designed, you're not just getting the theory knowledge, you are getting the practical knowledge alongside the theory knowledge. So if you went to school on Monday, you may not go to work on Tuesday. You may not go to work on, you go to, that's the way they develop a system and work for it. My uncle, my immediate mother's uncle in California, is the same program he attended. I have a friend in Cameroon. He's here from Cameroon. He still have he's one that developed, that do my car. So he was telling me how he got here in 2004 and how he did these things. This is how society make impact in the system. What is the impact that Tinubu is doing to address massive unemployment? They say they will create 10 million jobs. This is APC or APC constitution, because if you don't know about this constitution, APC policy is to drive 10 million jobs every year in Nigeria. But APC have taken 10 million jobs in Nigeria in the last 2015. So what you have over the years is that people have lost their jobs in Nigeria by APC government. They have not created jobs as we have lost jobs in Nigeria. As we have lost jobs in Nigeria. I think it's not my telling you opinion. This is what it is today. Max is talking about his friend who has a gas station and is giving him problem. The man that sat as chairman of my wedding is from Ebonyi State. I met him in law school. He was already a rich man in law school. By the time I met him in law school, he was already a rich man. He was already controlling billions of naira. So I expected that by the time the man is complaining, a big man is complaining about Nigeria today in a very serious way. And it's not because of the part of anything. This one doesn't complain, doesn't concern Nigeria. He just knows that he wants to pursue his path. He did Okada, he went through life, but today he's a big man. Not that he's poor, but he's not, things have gone very bad for him with his business, that he have reduced the number of people he has employed. He has more than 20 gas stations from southeast to south-south. I'm very much aware of that. Now, is Nigeria lazy? The question is, how do you determine a lazy person if you're not giving the person a tool to succeed? The only way it cannot be something you can just bring in your house and escalate whatever it is. And we have lazy people. It's not defined by Nigeria or your color or your race or your religion. It is people naturally can be lazy. But you can't call Nigerians lazy. Nigerians are doing well when they find themselves in other parts of the world. They do well because nobody will give you money in America. Nobody will dash you $100. Nobody will dash you $1. At least I have uncles here. They never give me $100 once. But when I did for Nigeria, maybe they pay some money when I did for school. But now I've never seen them. Now talk with just a talk. How you do? Hope you are fine. What do I do? How? Oh, nobody gives you money. You have to work for your money. You have to work, even though $1, you have to work for it. So in that system, people develop some kind of way to work hard. In the snow, in the heat, in the sunny environment, people work hard to make money for their lives. So to that end, it becomes imperative to talk about the fact that the way to measure poverty or measure people that are lazy is only when you empower them and they fail. That's when you can say, yeah, this person failed because he did not do the right thing. But you have not even done so in Nigeria. If there's anybody that is a poor person in Nigeria and lazy, is a Nigerian leader. Look at Tinubu, for instance. Tinubu went to UK, France, to take care of his health. This is not a lazy intention.
Remember, you're speaking on a borrowed time, and they have used 15 minutes to speak.
All right, thank you. Let me leave it at that. Let me round up, please. Just give me 30 seconds to round up. So if Tinubu as president of Nigeria could not involve and even increase or even make work the Asoro clinic so that his health and that of his family can be taken care of, do you think he's not a lazy person? What of the tertiary institution in Nigeria or tertiary health sector in Nigeria is working that will take care of even President Tinubu if he's sick? There's none in Nigeria. There's none in Nigeria. From Abuja to Lagos, no one is working to take care of the health of the president. You cannot create a problem that can be solved and you say you're not a lazy person. Or you cannot be in a place of responsibility where you're supposed to solve problem and you do not solve the problem and you say you're not lazy or poor. Tinubu is poor, like Buhari, like Jonathan, like people who have come before them. They are all poor in their mind and they are lazy. The reason why Nigeria is where it is today is because we have had poor and lazy presidents and leadership at every level. And finally, Mazi, thank you, is that people reflect the leaders. Leadership don't reflect the people. That's the procedure. People reflect their leaders. If your leadership is bad, you reflect in the community. That's why if a father is failing in his responsibility, he reflects in the children. So if people are failing, it's because the leadership has failed and is still failing. That's why Nigeria is where it is today. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you. So Plenum, you can go ahead.
Nah, man. Mazi, I greet you. Well done. This space, this your space should be aired in a national forum for national discourse, because I think it's a very critical conversation that we're having here. So I really commend you, and I commend everyone who has spent the time to be here. Let me start. I've heard a lot of things that people have said, and some of them which I agree with, and some of them which I find very preposterous. But let me just start by I recently saw a video, and in that video, I think they said that
they were discussing a hypothetical situation where, assuming all Nigerians everywhere in the world live wherever they are, and then they go back to Nigeria. And then the narration of the video said that if that happens, that first, several things are going to happen if all Nigerians first. He started mentioning that organizations in the US, in Europe, in the UK would crumble. Take, for example, that the NHS will struggle if all Nigerians were to leave. It shows and it agrees with the position that Nigerians have occupied, globally. In the NHS today, 2 out of every 5 doctors are Nigerians. 3 out of every medical personnel in the NHS are Nigerians. And all these people most of them were not born here. Most of them, were born and raised in Nigeria, studied in Nigeria, went through this hard environment before migrating, to these countries. When I was still back home in Nigeria, right, there was a time we had a concert. I think one of these international guest artists was coming, and when he came, he had to do rehearsals with some of the boys. He didn't come with his instrumentalist, so the people who were going to play those instruments were our local boys. One of the songs that they were rehearsing, the drum beats for that song was program beats, where for people who are into music, is machine created. So all the drum beats, everything was machine created. But they found a Nigerian boy who was able to play those beats live in live drums to perfection. Why am I saying this? It shows you the competence, the skill that we Nigerians have, especially Nigerians who currently live in Nigeria. So I do not agree with anybody that would make the conclusion that Nigerians are lazy. I don't. I rather think that what we have are lazy leaders, because these leaders have, over time, in how many decades, they have failed to solve problems. Lazy people cannot solve problems. And that's where I would like to really, really pitch my conversation. When I was back home in Nigeria, I had a management. I started a management consultancy company business, and what we were doing, in addition to verifying, helping businesses, banks, small banks, businesses to verify their employee credentials and everything. We one of the things I noticed was a lot of the people recycling employees. People would work for somebody and leave that employer, go to the next employer, and then give furious reasons. Maybe they must have done something, stolen something, some misconduct and everything. There was absolutely, in a state as small as the states that we're working in, there was no data, to be able to track employees and several other things that are available in the Western communities. So there is, what I would say is, we don't have lazy youths, but we just have youths who, number one, do not have the character. They don't have the character instilled in them. I don't know who, I think Mazi, was it you was saying that it's very difficult to start business in Nigeria? Apart from assuming the government got everything right, starting a business could be difficult because you would not even find the employees. You not even find employees who are skilled. You not find employees who have the integrity. You not find employees who have the technical competence, to employ within your business. So it's not just that. I mean, assuming the government gets everything right, that in itself could be a problem. So I feel that is where we really, really need to focus on. I was having a conversation with somebody in Nigeria. People are so quick to become masters of nothing. You know, they try everything. Quacks. We have so many quacks in Nigeria. I was having a conversation with somebody, and you know, I was telling the person that something as small as laying of tiles, we are importing people from Benin Republic and other African countries just to lay tiles. Not because we don't have people who are laying tiles at home, but when our people come to work, the quality of the job that they do and the attitude they bring with it, you know, so that for me is a critical reason why some of these things. And then for businesses, you have a lot of people who are doing businesses, have started business, and do not have financial education, you know, to go with doing businesses, how to take advantage of the financial economy, let me put it that way, within their area of doing business. It comes with the certain knowledge, you know, how to. I mean, when I worked in a bank, we threw out a lot of applications because common basic things like having a company accounts, you know, a company that has been trading for several years would not, they don't have those documentation. They have nothing to show their, you know, having financial projections, you know, and all this financial data. They don't have it. Yeah, but they expect that when they walk into a bank, they will be able to get a loan. So financial education is lacking in a lot of our businesses, amongst a lot of our business owners, and it makes it very difficult for them to access credit, especially considering the fact that we do not have a structured situation where if you just maybe put in your name, we don't have the credit scheme that we have outside here, which helps you, you know, to be able to, you know, show us your financial credibility and your financial activities, which can guarantee you loans. You know, so these things are lacking, and it is a major problem. You come down. So what does this? Where does this finally end, Mazi? It ends with the government. It ends with the government, because whenever I hear people come up here and say, "Oh no, the people have to do this," people, and I sit down and ask myself, I said, were the people involved in when the founders of Dubai started, planned over so many years, wrote out the script for that country, planned their future, including everything was designed? Where was the people? When China began to draw plans to remove people from poverty, like Odunayo said, the people were not there. It was the government, government after government. It is the responsibility of government. And today, look at the data for ease of doing business. Where is Nigeria? We have consistently been very, very low in that data. The ease of doing business. In several years, it was during Jonathan that at least Nigerian climbed a couple of several good points. But as it is today, we are bottom in that data. So, and that solely is the duty of government. When one of the new governments in my state was coming into power, you know, having served in the banking industry, we knew businesses within the state, you know, that needed funding or needed government support. The government came in after Akpabio had come in, cleared up, opened up roads, opened up rural roads, you know, over 1,000 kilometers of road that the man had done, opened up 80% of the local government. You know, it was now for the next government to come in and begin to build infrastructure, build industries, partner with local businesses. When these guys came in, you know, I remember having a conversation with the Commissioner of Finance and the Commissioner of Commerce. I sat down with them and I said, you know, we had discussed what their plan was. And I told them, it is not the duty of government to build businesses. What government's role is to give infrastructure. But even if government wants to, this is how to go about it. And I gave a robust suggestion on how they can work with local companies that we, the banks, have done businesses. We know their track record. We know their capabilities. We know what level of funding that these people could be supported with so that local businesses can explode. The government threw all that to the wind. It is just this now for people who say, "Oh, you don't hold your state governments accountable." I am speaking from my own state, my own state. I'm speaking from my state, and I will give you instances where I have engaged my own as low as my local government chairman. Oron local government in Akwa Ibom State is one of the locations in Nigeria where you get a large percentage of our seafood from. There was a time when I engaged with the local government, engaged with them, gave them ideas on how to take advantage, how government can take advantage. How did I do it? Because I had local fishermen whom I was giving funds to buy boats, fishing boats. And these boys were paying. Every month, they will send back the repayment monies to their account. They were doing very good business. They were so happy that the bank was willing to support them, and yet government was lackadaisical. Government was non-existent in the entire process. So we need to have a government that is people focused. And like Peter Obi says, it is when you empower the people to generate wealth that you can tax them comfortably. Government can sit back, having invested in SMEs. Government can sit back and track their revenue from taxing these people, and the people will pay. The fishermen, some of them have never been to 4 walls of any school, Mazi, but they were happy. They had my phone number. Some of them will call me by midnight to tell me what they're doing. If they had issues with maybe their fishing, if there was a bad weather and they will not be able to meet up repayment, they told me. They were happy. So these are ordinary, simple, everyday Nigerians with a multi-billion industry that if the government sits down and prioritizes, the government can get huge revenue from. But our government, Mazi, is so focused on bringing in foreign investors, and it is something that I personally frown at, because if you understand corporate structure, you would know that foreign investors don't necessarily bring you too much. They are coming to take. The French company that was brought in, that they said, oh, they're coming to come and invest 500 million. How much was their percentage? They were giving government, I think they were taking 60%. So that's 60% of revenue, 60% of your natural resources, 60% of your country's wealth that is going to a foreign industry, that is going to a foreign company. And when we have these conversations, people, personalize it. Somebody came up here and said, you don't criticize the government, you're not holding government accountable. The one that is holding government accountable, what is government calling him? Mazi, this guy that took over power in Burkina Faso, before he came to power, I said took power deliberately. Before that guy came to power, gold was taken naturally from their country, Burkina Faso, and refined somewhere else. As we speak, just so you have an idea of how wealth is retained in a country, as we speak, there is no longer, you cannot take gold, unrefined gold, out of Burkina Faso. They have brought in industries, they have brought in their own gold mining infrastructure. They are going to be refining gold in their country, and then they will sell to you at the international price. Cotton, people were coming in to buy raw cotton from Burkina Faso. As we speak, the government has put a ban on sales and exportation of cotton. What they want to do is they will harvest their cotton, they will process it into fabric. Then you, foreigners, will come and buy the fabric from them and go, so that they will retain that wealth. That is how countries grow. And that is the prerogative of government. Nigerians, God has so blessed us with the technicalities, with the skill, with the global partnerships that we require. So Nigerians have what it takes. If our government say, going forward, we are not, okay, take for example, we had it in Dangote. Sell the crude to Dangote, let Dangote refine it and sell. We retain the money, we retain our wealth. That's how government is built. Unfortunately for us, we have 90% of people who are occupying government positions today are people who have never owned businesses, never run businesses.
Some of them, we don't even know how they made the money they made. Some of them have been in government in perpetuality. Everything they own today, they made it from government. Those kind of people cannot, even when they have the right people, right technical people beside them, they will not trust them. They will not trust to bring professionals in because they are known to be stealing. And a lot of professionals will not compromise their standards, their professional ethics, and work with you in a toxic environment. So anybody, let me conclude, Mazi. I've spoken for long. I think the people who should be criticizing, the people who should be calling lazy are our leaders. If you are not solving problem, if you are not helping, Mazi, imagine 70%. I was talking with a young person recently. Let me just chip this in. And the person was telling me about the tariff war in America. And I felt so bad because 40% of iPhone products are produced in China. With this tariff war that is going on, businesses like iPhone and other companies would have been looking for a veritable market to produce. They would have been looking for manpower. And I said, if Nigerian government had put those infrastructure in place, this would have been time. Nigeria and Africa would have become a global production site for these companies. Why would Nigeria be strategic? Because we have 70% of our young people are very highly intelligent. You see all these boys that are in the telephone market, I don't know what we call them now.
Village.
Take those boys, put them in, computer villages. Take those boys, give them 3 months training. iPhone, because they're already coupling iPhones. They're already doing magic with iPhones. Yes, Mazi. Yes, take those boys, put them in a place, train them. 3 months. They can work for any international global company. Every day, Amazon has over 15 sites in the US, in the UK. 7 floors, 10 football field, 4 floors. Those are businesses that could come to Nigeria and our population will give them enough manpower to produce globally. Imagine if our young people were being paid 400 pounds every week, $400 every week. So we have everything it takes. We have the land mass, we have the population, we have the youth population. All we need is a government that will put its foot down and say, listen, before you come and sell your product in my country, come and train. Bring those jobs to my people. That's what we need. Global partnership from a government that is people focused and understands global business, which I think these people do because a lot of them have investments abroad. Mazi, thank you for your time.
Okay, thank you. But Plenum, you go after Abiodun. I know the reason.
Mazi,
You will go after him.
Mazi,
Let
I don't
Abiodun.
talk for here today.
Go, I beg, you've been speaking now. Which one you want to go again?
10 over 10, you just came up. There are people here before you now. Now, so they do.
Ah,
So,
No, that's not true.
Abiodun,
That's
please
not
go
true.
ahead here.
yeah.
You go after Abiodun. Good.
Mazi, how are you? Doggy, hail. Everybody are here. Nigerians amuse me. Nigerians amuse me a lot. You know, the way we always appreciate whatever policy that is being implemented in the abroad or in any other country. But when those same policies are implemented in Nigeria, we will run against it, we will throw all kind of things, and later come back and blame the government. Before going into that, I will start by first. See, when Sally was talking about a ban that they were planning to ban a one solar panel, I was just laughing. I don't know, Sally. I'm not asking you to answer, but you will say anything whenever you want to say. Do you even know if there was even any proposal to even ban something? Do you even know the details of that? Will any government try to tarnish or block its
Oga,
people from? Hold
between
on,
when I said, between
I
when
didn't
I
say you
made
should
that
respond.
information
Hold on.
and now,
I,
between
I
when I
didn't say you
made
should
that
respond.
information and now,
You
I
will
expect
say
you to
your own, Sally, don't
respond.
worry.
It's a simple
Sally,
Google
wait,
search.
now you,
Anybody listening can
Sally,
Google
you will
search
say
it.
your own. Don't
Federal
respond. I
government
beg you not to
proposing to
respond.
ban importation of
Do you
solar
know the
panels. There's no
details?
big
Do
deal
you know
there.
the details? Why they are doing it? Do you know
Oh
why?
my goodness. You
Do
said
you
they
know the
didn't do it.
reason why?
You said I don't know
I
the
didn't tell you.
details.
I said, do
It's
you know
okay.
the? I said, even if it happen, even if it's going to happen, do you know
No,
the
it won't
details
happen.
of it?
It's a lie. I was lying. I was lying. There's no
Even
details.
if
There's
it's
nothing
going to,
like that.
tell you, don't
There's
worry. It
nothing like
seems
that.
you are
It's
not
false.
getting everything I've said. I said, even if it's going to happen, do you know the details of it? Why they want to propose it? But
No,
you
no,
will
no.
just jump
They shouldn't.
to
They
push
shouldn't have
one
proposed this in
narrative.
the first place.
Oh,
There's no way.
see, that is why you don't know
Sorry,
things.
let him land now. Let him land. You
Exactly.
can return it.
But
That
you
is why you
mentioned the
don't.
name now.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah, you
I said
mentioned
don't
your name,
respond.
but you're on the space. Allow him to land. He will respond
Exactly.
later.
If you are not, I won't mention your name. And people will say government failed. That is why something like solar energy or panel is coming up. There was somebody that spoke earlier today and said they were in Canada. I just wanted them to refute this. Is the government of Canada, where your electricity is 24 hours, are they not encouraging people to go for solar energy now? There must be something that are happening that we don't know. There must be something and why a policy is being implemented. For me, I don't want to go into that. I just want to speak to whether we are poor, Nigerian, are we poor or just lazy? I don't want to say we are lazy, but I can say authoritatively, I can say it that many times Nigerians are just lazy. I beg, what other policy can a government make to encourage an agricultural business than what the Buhari government did? What other policy? The Anchor Borrowers Program. Do you know what that policy could have done? This same program is what other nations will do. They will ban importation because they want to make sure they grow. They will pump money like the Buhari government pump money into the Anchor Borrower Program. But what did we get? First of all, do you know what could have happened? That thing could have revolutionized the agricultural sector. Even all the raw materials that industries will be needing could have begun to happen if that program had succeeded. But guess what? Was fund not made available? Fund was made available. For Nigerians, not the president. Because everyone is trying to claim and bastardize the president because they want to feed their bias. The government make sure fund was available. But what did we do, Nigerians? They even block importation for us so that the goods that are coming from outside will not compete with whatever you're producing. You will see Nigerians, they will carry the rice that they produce with Anchor borrowers' money. They will rebag it and call it foreign made and sell to Nigerians. Are we not wicked? What else can a government do? I'm sorry, I'm shouting. What else can a government do other than that? Do you know what could have happened through that policy alone? That is the kind of policy they implement in your Canada, in your America. Somebody came here and was trying to tell you how beautiful they give Tesla grants. I beg, Dangote refinery that you are seeing today. Do you know the percentage interest that they gave that man the loan? Do you think it's easy? But they gave him to build that, but yet you will blame the government. Do you think it's easy? I am not saying, see, Doggy and some people have said it. The people we are electing are from among us. It is us Nigerians that are bad. And among us, we elect people, even when some of those leaders try to do their best, bring up policies that you people will run to their board to go and carry and embrace. You will not make it work. It is only Nigeria that I know that a rumor of fuel scarcity is coming. The filling station that had fuel this morning, no. We lock up the station and stop selling without even buying the product that is coming. But you blame the leaders. Going back to the Anchor Borrowers program, We were on this same Twitter when one useless farmer.
Sorry, are you a farmer? Can I ask? Are you a
Can
farmer?
I stop? Can you just
Let
shut
him
up,
land.
please?
Let him land. Salute. Let him land. You
Can
have
you
a
shut up?
when polonium
Oga,
use
Oga, no be you carry me come this.
polonium use about 30 to 40 minutes, 30 to 35 minutes to talk on this space. But now you use about 25 minutes to talk on this space. No one interjected them just because they are speaking in whatever thing in your distance. Allow him to speak. We can be able to accommodate our conversation, I mean our opinion without interruption. Allow him to finish. When he is done, you can ask me a question if you have one. Please. Thank you. Go ahead, Abiodun, my brother. Go ahead. Abiodun, go ahead. Speak your mind, Abiodun.
Thank you, Mazi. I beg, in the name of God that I worship, I didn't buy data for anybody. So I did not beg any person's father for data.
Oga talk, Joe. Ah,
Say
So
what
if
you
I'm
want to say
saying
now.
my
All this
mind,
shouting is not necessary now.
I beg, just
Just say
keep
what you want
quiet
to say.
for me. It is not my problem that you have problem. I
Oga,
am
now you get
speaking
problem.
whatever.
Nobody has come
value
on
I
and
this
am
every
space
man
to
go
say
speaking
they
ask
my
have
am
Allow this man
mind.
to
question.
problem
finish
now.
now. Allow this man to finish.
Nobody
Keep
has come on this
interjecting
space to
me.
say they have
Allow this man to
problem
finish.
now.
I
There
will
is
go. See,
no, Sally,
I
allow
will.
him to
My
Say
finish.
daughter,
what you want to say now. Which one
Allow
is
him
it?
to
Nobody
finish
person
it.
with their
Allow him to
problem.
my
finish.
kids
Allow
are
him to
not
finish.
home. I will enter into the gutter with you. My kids are not home. I will enter into
Enter
the
into the
gutter with you.
gutter. If there is
Mazi, but
kid now,
he doesn't have to be
if there is
derogatory now.
kid, go
Nobody
into the
insulted.
gutter.
When you're interrupting people, what do you expect those people to do? Are you not interrupting this guy now to be triggered? It's what you're doing. Stop interrupting him. When you're speaking pronoun, if someone interjects you on this space, you will be triggered. Allow him to finish. Allow him to finish, Jerry. I think I agree totally with what he's saying. Allow him to finish. Abiru, please go ahead.
Mazi, I
We
didn't
were,
interrupt
we
you.
were, we
Please.
we
I didn't
were on
interrupt you.
this platform. Hey, Oga, we were on this platform when somebody, I don't know whether the person got the Anchor Borrower loan because I don't have access to his book, but during those times, this guy came here on social media, a farmer, asking farmers to hoard maize so that price can go up, so that they can benefit. Is that the problem of leadership as well? See, many of us just like somebody said in the morning. See, the reason why many of you are complaining or lamenting is because the person that you want is not in power. Because many of you are turning political. Somebody will come and tell me about how Jonathan government was this. During my days in the bank, I have my colleagues who were banking officers who were from Rivers who were still getting money. Sorry, I got a call. Who were still getting money. They were already working. They were still getting money from the federal government. Are we going to say the Nigerian government are not done enough to help these people? These are the things that are available in the abroad. But what do? They genuinely use it for what they are supposed to use it for. Somebody made an analogy or something about why they asked a question about you go to the abroad and you obey traffic. Do you know why? Just like I was going to say, because the people that you met on ground are law abiding. You don't have a choice. The moment you want to go mad by going against their rule, you will see that you're not going to get a policeman that is going to bail you out. Not that they still don't break the law, some of them still do that. But because Nigerian system have been bastardized by Nigerians, maybe our government, even when they now try to change our curriculum, which I know maybe some of the things that we feed ourselves with oh, we want to study this, we want to study that, we are outdated, or maybe we are not we are not we are not teaching our kids what they were supposed to teach them in schools. Because my own 5-year old already at this age understand that red means stop. and will always follow that rules, will not cross the road unless she sees a zebra crossing. But even when there's a zebra crossing in Nigeria, with the motor will stop because there's no police on the road to even stop me here. But even Nigeria, you have a police, people will still not stop for the zebra crossing. It is a cultural thing. Nigerians have learned to not just obey things and not help themselves, and that is why they become lazy intellectually or to invent things. And that is our problem. We will come here and clap for Burkina Faso. Do you know the kind of government that they practice in China? Is that the kind of government that you want in Nigeria? Will you even subscribe to it? If they start it now, they only enforce one state of emergency in Rivers. Some of you already are crying. Is that the kind of all of these things are the factors that help all of these countries that you always clap for when you go to the abroad. They have so many factors that are helping them to behave and turn out the kind of inventions that they are churning out. But you will only look at Nigeria from one prism and criticize everybody, especially your leaders, even when some of them are trying. But when he's the one that is not trying, that is the one you will applaud and say he's doing good because he visits Arise TV every now and then. See, we are just lazy set of people. Even though I agree that some of us are pushing well and are succeeding while we are pushing. We go to the abroad and we succeed. Not because most of us get all of those grants. We have the opportunity. Not because we get it, but because we are just deliberate to change our mindset. But same of us, the moment we get back to Muritala Mohammed, we become the kind of Nigerians that we criticize. We start honking. I don't even know the sound of my horn when somebody is just in front of us. These are the issues. We need to change our mindset, like somebody had said before. Then things will begin to work well. And not all of these things that we want to blame the leaders without blaming ourselves. The leaders that we are electing are elected among us. And until we change our orientation, change the way we do things, change the way we see things, not from the prism of one ethnocentric thing of one religious line, then things will begin to. I don't want to overflow things because I've said what I needed to say and what I want to say. Thank you, Mazi.
Okay.
Can I ask you a question?
Please, I have a
Please,
question.
I have a question, please.
Hold on, guys.
Before you answer,
Hold on, guys. Hold on. I think Great wants to enter a meeting by in next 1 minute. I think you should allow him. Go to idea.
Yeah. All right. So Mazi, I'll be very, very quick.
Maz, you know I'm gonna ask the question.
No,
I go fire them.
after him, you guys can go.